swapping more than draft picks, but there was an 11 and 16 draft picks changed hands. I think 18 and 21 with Clayton. And if you wanted the guy at 21, why don't you just pick him? Like, why didn't you just take him? I don't fully get it, but I think there were some more, like there's another second-round pick thrown in and everything else, so I guess you get a little something more. I don't think it's a dollar figure thing, so just curious and clunky. Like the NBA draft, they did a good job with it. It's just clunky because of that. Very hard to follow. I feel like, you have Major League Baseball draft, and there's signability things at hand, so it really is an interesting piece of who goes where. I think Casey's brought this up before, like the best player doesn't always go number one or even in the top 5 or where you think they should go in like an order because of signability and how much it costs and everything else. So there's a factor there. The NFL seems pretty straightforward, right? It's pretty slotted. You take your best players. Some people draft off best player available. Some people draft off need. The hockey one I don't follow at all, but hockey is very confusing at times of the trades and where they're coming from. And again, very international presence too. So you're not familiar with everybody. And the NBA has that element as well, like where there's just an international flavor with people. I mean, you can tell even the ESPN folks, if you're watching the draft last night, they don't really, it's like a quick little blurb. And I get it. I don't know how you're supposed to know too much on these guys from overseas. I think it was a young man taken from China that they were.
Yeah, there was.
Was it? But wasn't Billis like really surprised he was taken in the first round?
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to get picked, or they didn't think he was going to get picked.
And he got picked like 17 or something, right?
Yeah,
like that. So from an NFL perspective, right? And we do have some of this NFL perspective. We get a guy that a lot of mock drafts, like we claim to think that's groupthink. Maybe he is 34 or 35, and he goes at 18, 19, 20. In the first round. I feel like there was like a receiver recently that did that and some others. And then you have the drop part of it. So you heard these guys talking about him in that respect. But then there's the last part of this, and that is the emotional piece. Did you catch that on the broadcast? We were talking a lot about like how emotional everybody was.
Not really.
There was a lot of crying.
Well, I remember the guy from Duke was crying, but that was...
Yeah,
is
he from Sudan? No, he's not from Sudan. I don't think. But yeah, I know. Yeah. But he was very emotional.
I guess Walt was crying. Yeah,
I guess I understand. Again, there's a big international flavor, depending on your homeland, depending on your story. I'm not telling you that it shouldn't be emotional. What strikes me about it, Casey, is we're in a world now where a lot of these guys are making big bucks before they make big bucks in the NBA. Right. So like Walter Clayton, whatever. So you'd think. And there's a big curiosity here in the NFL and in professional sports with folks making that kind of money already and having their hands on that kind of money. What's their desire to play? What's their motivation to make it to the next level? Now, huge difference between $2 million and $40 million.
Yeah.
I think everybody can do that. But when you're a kid and you got $2 million, you feel like you got a lot. Right? Or if you got whatever it is, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think there is this general curiosity in college to pro sports. And I think we heard this a lot with Gladstone and Cohen, specifically in the process, that we want guys that love football. We want guys that love football. You want the guys that are motivated. That's why you hear this so much. And the Jags aren't the only ones doing that. I think we heard it in Baltimore. DeCosta, I think, shed some light on that in his post-draft stuff. Obviously, the Rams would do this. Tampa was talking about this. We want a player that fits a certain character mode and also has this mentality that they're looking for, because I think some of that watered down, hey, this is your lottery ticket, that's not necessarily the only chase anymore. Some of these dudes are all set. How much did Cooper Flagg make? $28 million?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to play NBA.
No, but I think the emotion part of that is like, and I understand the money, and they brought that up a lot with Ace Bailey, like thinking that he can play a different game than everybody else, but I think there is still a sense of like if you're Walter Clayton, right? I think probably from middle school, he probably understood that he was going to be a college basketball player at some level.
Yeah,
because he was that talented. But also, I think there is some like, okay, I'm a college basketball player, but can I really be an NBA player? Let alone be drafted in the first round. And I think there's some of that when it happens. It's like, for a second, or maybe for longer, like the money part of it be damned. Like I did it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think Cooper Flagg's a little different because probably since like, middle school, Cooper Flagg thought he was going to be an NBA player, right? It's different. So, and I'm not saying he wasn't emotional as he should be, but I do think there is a lot for a lot of these guys, more so in the back half of the first round. Like, oh man, I did it. Like this is pretty cool because and we talked about the NBA draft. Like, not many guys get picked, and even the guys that get picked, like half or a whole round and maybe another half of a round doesn't even ever play. So I think it is. I think it's just a moment where it's like a little bit human, where it's like, wow, I did it. My name just got called in the NBA draft, and here I am.
Yeah, and I think, obviously everybody's got a story. I mean, they were telling some of the stories like, hey, this guy bet on himself, and this is this, and I guess the other big thing, like really surprising, like Rutgers and Illinois and teams like that are having top first round picks. It's how aren't they better?
Well, the Rutgers things, yeah.
The Rutgers pretty crazy, right? They were under 500. Illinois was pretty good, I think.
Illinois is usually good, but the Rutgers thing was goofy because they paid those two so much. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and didn't get the bet. Well, they're obviously good players.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought they were going to win, though. I think the whole gimmick was just to go there, which confuses me greatly. And by the way, good for those two kids. It's not their fault. I would have done the same thing if Rutgers offered me money. I would have went there too. So I'm not saying that they made the wrong decision. I'm confused from like a Rutgers boosters standpoint or whoever paid. Like, why? Like, you think Ace Bailey's going to go around and for the rest of his career be like, yeah, Rutgers.
Rutgers, yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know if that's how you start it. Like maybe if you need a jump start, you just we'll put on the map. We got these guys on the map, and now you start thinking Rutgers. Maybe that's a little bit of it. We'll see what they do next, I guess is the point. But like St. John spent all that money. They got the guys, and they won. Right? That's the difference. Now, like we're kind of looking at like a Texas Tech. Are they going to be able to do the same thing? They're obviously putting their name on the map because the dollars are there. Does the NBA goofiness drive everybody nuts?
It's the worst. It's so stupid. Like because I was watching it because I wanted to see what happened with Walt, but I don't really care at all about any of these other people. Like, what did the Magic do? By the way, I don't know if you heard they traded 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane. And what happened with Walt, right? That's all I cared about. So, like, we're watching, Amanda's like, wait, but the Hawks just picked this guy. Now he's on this team. I'm like, yeah, they trade after for whatever reason. Like, it's the worst thing possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why the NBA wants that. Like, why give the hat? Give an NBA draft hat. If that's going to happen, like, do the draft hat.
Or just stop the hat gimmick. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, here's the other thing about the hat. It never fit. None of them fit. No, these guys are huge, or they got, like, this big set of hair. Like, almost everybody. It's not, like, a good fit at all. Mm. So it's... Yeah, I don't know what you...
Give him a jersey.
Give him a jersey. I don't know what you... I know everybody wants that moment, right? You want that picture. That's cool. But they're dressed to the nines. And...
It's so dumb. It's the worst design in sports, in my opinion. Because you don't know. You can legitimately watch it. And if you miss 5 seconds, you don't know what happened. Like, if you are a Hawks fan, and you pick the guy from Duke, and you walk away, you're like, hey, we did it.
Yeah.
And you come back, they're like, oh, he's on the Jazz. You're like, what? What happened? We just picked him. He wore the hat. Like, you could legitimately miss stuff in 5 seconds. Well, and it's so dumb.
I'll tell you this, too, and just from I watch it from a TV perspective a lot, and you can just tell the NFL, the way it's just more organized, and obviously they have a lot more people involved in the NFL draft because of the eyeballs on it, like not just the behind the scenes, but the televised stuff, like ESPN or ABC right. or whoever's doing it now. But I thought, to your point there, like Silver would come out before the 18th pick. I think he did this right before Clayton. And he's like, hey, the so-and-so has traded with so-and-so, picks number 11 and 16 for what do they call it? A proposed trade.
Yeah.
Right? And to still be finalized or something. And ESPN's broadcast team never comments on it.
No.
Like, because they go right into Clayton, and now they're getting Clayton instead, but they never come, well, maybe they did like later, but they hardly ever come back to almost in real time, like the idea that there's a pick. I wonder if things move too fast.
Well, they try to do it before sometimes. If like Shams has it, they're like, but then that gets lost too. Like, Shams, what's going to happen? Okay, in 2 picks, they're going to trade this pick for this guy that already got picked, and then you go to silver and they pick a different dude, and it's like, what? What happened?
Like, the only thing I can figure is they need
a stop time. You can't do this crap after 8
yeah,
p.m.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's all physical based. Like, to make sure a trade goes through, you have to pass the physical stuff. So, like, you're not going to lock in. You're not going to bind anything, right? You're not going to send the paperwork, boom, stamp it through the league office and you can't do that right there, right? You're just getting these guys. You have no idea. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, can we just assume if that is it? Can't we just say, okay, it's an unwritten rule. Like, we assume these are pending physical. like that would be.
Or you do every player gets 1 overall league physical.
Well, that'd be interesting, yeah. By the way, I don't know if that's the reason. I'm just assuming it might be the reason.
Yeah, no, I could see that because everybody does their own thing. I get that. But, like, if that is the thing, then when they do the draft combine, everybody gets a physical, and that's what you go off of. If you want to bring said player in to do a different physical, that's fine. But can't do no physical pending crap because we have this 1 league physical. We put them, through everything that you would want as a team, and this is what we found. Like, it's really a terrible watch.
It's really a hard watch.
The worst.
And actually, like, a lot of the other stuff isn't bad. Like, the emotion is good. So from a watch standpoint, right? Okay, where's Clayton going? Where are people going that it doesn't get the love of the NFL, the mock drafting of the NFL. At least maybe, again, that might just be my world. If you're really a diehard NBA, you can go find it. I get it. Mm-hmm. But to the masses, it doesn't reach our population like the NFL draft does. It doesn't feel like it. And so you're still waiting to see, like, where Clayton goes. We're waiting to see, okay, is Chaz Lanier going to sneak in the first round? Like, how do they? So there's some drama. You have the emotion part. You've got they're all there. Most of them are there, which is kind of cool.
From when they call the name to when the next pick is made, it's not a bad situation.
That's not bad.
They're all there. You get to see them. They walk up. The hat part is goofy. But then they come off stage and you interview every single kid.
Yeah, right away.
It's not like Trevor Lawrence not being there and you don't get to interview them. Like, Cooper Flagg was there. They talked to him. So, I mean, that part is good, but then after that it gets goofy.
It's so bizarre, man.
It's
so bizarre.
It's a bad watch. Like, it's not a great watch. And by the way, did you notice the Malika Andrews, who I think is usually pretty good, called the one dude Colin Cowherd when he got picked?
I didn't see that.
The South Carolina kid whose last name's Cowherd, whatever.
Oh yeah, he was like a top.
He's like top
10 pick, right?
Yeah. She called him Colin.
And we all make mistakes, I guess. But
yeah, what a moment though, huh? What a moment to call somebody the wrong name. Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that you'll trade the 18th pick to Utah. Like, just take the guy. Like, why would you? That part I just don't understand. That is so wacky.
His name was Cedric Cowherd. Sorry,
Cedric Cowherd.
She called him Colin.
Oh
man,
it's better actually that she called him Colin instead of, like, probably Coward was a different name and then she said Cow. I don't know.
No, it's pretty bad, Brent. I don't think there's any way you get around that. And for a second, I thought I was the only one that heard it because, like, I mean, Amanda didn't catch it. So, like, I was sitting there, I was like, she's like, Colin?
Yeah, and I didn't catch it. I might not have been watching that early, actually.
And then I go on social and I'm like refreshing. I'm like, is anybody seeing this? And then Colin Cowherd started trending. I was like, well, they heard it. Oh man,
that's
tough.
Whoops. The one thing I'll say that's interesting. Here's where even more intrigue, because we don't follow it on a day to day, especially in this part of the country, in this part of the state, whatever else. And I think this exists anyway. I think it exists in the NBA a little bit more, that you can come off your college team and, like, we don't really remember you as, like, this stud in college, yet they'll find you, right? Or they project you better. I feel like the NBA projects so differently than the NFL. You have examples of Tebow that people were really curious at how that would project. Fair curiosity, too. And maybe that's the nature of the quarterback position. But you take a guy like Walter Clayton, who was one of the best players in the country by far. And we've seen this before with guys like Hansborough, or I brought up Jimmer Fredette yesterday, right, who could absolutely score it. And
2 days in a row, Jimmer Fredette.
Jimmer Fredette, well, I used to cover him in high school, so he's always top of mind for me.
Known good guy.
But you take those guys and you think automatically they're going to be good and go to the pro level. I feel like it's in that sport more than any that they don't always do that. Like, you could actually have like the third best player on your team in college be the more projectable NBA guy.
Yeah.
Which I just don't believe that is the case. If you've got a really good running back, the dude's playing for you in college and he's really good, and he's going to the NFL. Like, Bashal Tutin's a 4th-round pick, best running back at Virginia Tech. He was the guy off the board, from Virginia Tech. Yeah. Like, you're not taking like the 4th-string dude. Now, some of that's based on class and year and everything else come out. You think baseball has a little bit of this, but not a lot of it. Like, even Alex Lodis, who's one of the best players in the country this year, and probably wasn't really that high on draft boards if going back to the beginning of the year.
He was not.
Right? Well, he's climbed his way up. Now, he's also not going to probably be a top 10 pick, but I think he's moved his way into the first round, it sounds like. We'll see. But baseball's a little wacky there, too, because you have high schoolers mixed with college as well, so that changes the whole dynamic, too. And you're talking about 4 or 5 years down the road, potentially, where you see a guy in the big leagues, not tomorrow. Like, you're going to see this guy on an NBA roster. So that strikes me every time in the NBA that, like the Duke kid. I mean, the Duke kid was good, but he wasn't a household name.
The center?
Not Flag, yeah.
Or Knipple?
No, the center.
Okay.
The big guy. Like, went in the top 10 because he got better and better throughout the year. He's a projectable guy, and obviously he was good for Duke, but nobody was talking about him at Duke.
Right.
Right? I mean, did you hear his name mentioned like this year? Not really.
Not to the tune of the other two.
Yeah, you'd really have to be following it, is my point. I'm talking about the cat. You hear these guys. Well, everybody had heard of Cooper Flag.
They had 3 top 10 picks.
3 top 10
didn't
picks.
win.
But that's another thing. See, that's why I guess that's my point. Like, you're not the best team. Take Florida. Florida wins a national championship. If they had 3 guys come out, none of them would have been the top 15.
No.
Clayton snuck in the top 20.
Clayton only was a first-round pick because of how he played in the tournament.
That's it.
Which is dumb because he's been that player the whole time. Just nobody's paying.
And then Condon went back, right, because he wasn't sure about where he was going to go.
Probably right decision.
Probably a good decision.
Yeah.
So isn't that fascinating? We take the 3 best players off Alabama that are eligible to be drafted.
Right.
Now, team sport, different sport, but they're probably in the mix in the Final Four of the college football playoff, and we know them all. The 3 best players of Florida Gators, if you had put them in the draft this year, none of them would have go top 15.
Crazy.
That is pretty crazy. That is really crazy. Like, that's just an odd thing, and I think that also creates a little bit of a, plus the way they do it, just kind of, you lose the feel of the draft. But I also think it makes it kind of interesting because you learn about players. You're just like, who is this guy?
I mean,
and how good is he?
Technically, which is crazy now that you say that, and I just thought about it, technically Elijah Martin and Will Richard are draft eligible. So there are 3 Florida Gators that you could pick.
That could have picked.
And by the way, Will Richard had like 19 in the national championships, reason they won. So, wild.
So they could have had, I'm not saying they could have had 4 or 5 guys drafted.
Yeah, but like your point is still valid. They won the national championship and they have 1 guy that was a first rounder, maybe 1 pick overall out of 3 of their starting 5. Crazy.
So how good do you think Walter Clayton will be in the NBA?
Well, the Jazz really suck. I don't know if you know that. And also, he's on the Jazz now because of the trade. Just so everybody's clear.
Just a reminder.
I know you know, but like
a reminder, he's on the Jazz.
He's on the Jazz. I hope they let him play because I think if they let him play, I think he will make some shots. I don't foresee him being a high volume scorer, but I think he's going to make some threes for you. I would guess he's probably going to be a 2 and not a 1. I don't know that, but it just feels like he's not going to be the guy that handles the ball up and down the court. I think he's going to be a guy that gets open and takes shots. Again, though, the Jazz are terrible, so we'll see. But I really hope he's good because he was great for Florida. Good dude. I hope he gets a chance, is what I'll say.
It's pretty interesting. Like, you keep saying that, and everybody says that. I think everybody feels that way about him, and I don't think you always feel this way about I mean, football players, NBA players, whatever. I think everybody says good dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's something. They might all be good dudes, by the way. I have no idea. Like I just don't know. But they really say this about this kid, and which I guess is kind of cool. It feels like that's being thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
At least with our local. I mean, we hear that all the time with Travis Hunter. Good dude, good human being.
Yeah.
Like, are there a lot of bad human beings that are good athletes? Why is that being accentuated so much?
We might be onto something here a little bit.
But I don't feel like athletes. I say this a lot. I don't feel like athletes get in trouble as much as they used to. Now, I might be wrong. Now, when you get in trouble, it's like everybody knows about it, so it feels very loud. But I'll just take Jacksonville, for instance. When I got here in 2008, 2009, I mean, it was like every week, folks. We were leading the news with something. Speeding, arrested, this, that. Like, I mean, outside of Georgia, where they drive very fast, apparently, in Athens, they, like you just, and I know Shadur just had his, I'm not telling you there are none. I'm talking about the volume of it. It just doesn't, it seems like today's athlete, and I've said this many times, is so much more aware, so much more mature. They understand. Like, we're not talking about 2 years ago social media started. This is a group of kids or young people that grew up watching other people make those mistakes, from Josh Hader to the Nice quarterback to you name it, right? So, like, we have examples of it where we see less of that, I think, now because of it. And they're just more, I think, spatially aware and also forced to be mature. Like Cooper Flagg, man, that's the other thing. He's 18.
I know.
He's 18. He's going to be playing with 30-year-old men. I can just guarantee, I don't care how good he is at basketball. 18 and 30-year-olds, that's not like a common, let's go hang out.
Nah, it's borderline. You end up on a list.
I mean, that's got to be awkward. Now, there are some 22s and 23-year-olds, but my point is he's got to be forced to really grow up, and he is. Like, they obviously think he's ready for that.
Oh, yeah.
His game is, but is he ready for that as, like, I think that's why people go back to the Major League Baseball a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of guys don't opt for the draft. They go to college. One, college is now this really a great experience, right? People want that experience. You take like the Aaron Watson kid, who was Virginia, now Florida commit, might be a top 50 or top 40 draft pick out of Trinity Christian. Like, you get the sense that guys like him want to go play college baseball and experience Omaha and experience the big crowds. It's really something they want to do. I think the other side of that is, I'm just using Watson here as an example because he seems actually very mature and ready to go. But that is a grind now at the pro baseball level. And not everybody's your friend, right? You're competing against those dudes. Like, that's not going to a team we're all looking out after you. You are on your own. And so being on your own at 18 years old with grown men trying to also make it, and some might have had bad experience, some might have been coming off injury, some might be wrestling for your very spot and only have so much time left. That's an uncomfortable position for a kid to be in. And it's not a glorious life either. The college life is way more glorious if you go to Florida State or Ole Miss than it is driving the minor league buses in Class A ball.
Yeah.
So that maturity part is fascinating to me. I also just think it's interesting that we keep hearing how nice, like, I don't understand why that's a trait all of a sudden that is being, it's not a bad one. I'm not complaining about it. It's just like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you didn't hear like how nice guys were.
Well, here's the thing. Straight up, some people are lying, right?
Well, that
not
is
everybody's
true,
a good person.
Well, that's true. That's a good point too.
So, like, that just kind of, not that my opinion matters at all. I ain't lie. Like, I think he's a good dude, right?
We never know, right? We never know.
In my interactions with Walter Clayton Jr., he's a good dude. The way that I see the Florida team interact with this guy and the way this guy led the Florida team, did you see the video? They all watched the draft in some frat house looking place with an interesting flag on the wall. But they were all super fired up when this guy got picked. So that to me says like what this guy meant to them, what this guy brought into their program, and he led them to a national championship. So like from where I sit, I got nothing bad to say about Walter Clayton Jr. for everything I know and that I've seen that I wasn't present for. I'd stand on the gap and tell you he's a good dude. I'm not going to do that for people that I don't know that answer to. But also, I think people just be lying, Brett, because everybody else seems to say everybody's a good dude. So I bet somebody was like, somebody in this draft, they were like, hey, is this a good dude? And the person they asked was like, probably not. But then he was like, yeah, for sure. Great dude. So, what the hell? Just trying to get him picked.
I'm just wondering, there used to be a lot of bad guys. Must just be, that must be a thing, man.
I mean, what they say about like that Miami team that was like, that Miami football team that's really damn good. You think they were in there like, hey, Ray Lewis, he a good dude?
Well, I do bring that up. Everyone's like, can you get back to that? No, you can't, because you can't have that climate, right? It's hard to have a climate of what Urban had in 2008. And I'm not even saying, like, I've had experience with a lot of those players over the years that they were nice like this. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot going on behind the scenes, right? So, one, that's show you don't know everything. And two, like, that climate is really hard to exist right now and cover up in sports. Like, that is just, you just can't really get away. I don't think you can. Maybe somebody is, and we'll find out about it. But it doesn't feel like you can get away with that climate. I think coaches know it, administration know it, and I think the players know it. But that's a good thing that you just said about Walter Clayton. Like, all his teammates are jacked up for him. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the moment really yesterday is Flagg being interviewed, and he watches his teammate go number 4, and he's so excited for him. Mm-hmm. To me, that does say a maturity, right, about leadership or whatever else. Like, that's a good moment for him to be that excited, that naturally excited. Not just a microphone in your face, like, how do you feel? Oh, it's so awesome for him, right? No, that was his, like, genuine reaction, which is pretty cool. That's a neat thing. At 18, to be that excited about your teammate after really you could be all about yourself.
Definitely.
Just hit the big time. It is weird to watch an 18-year-old. I don't know if it's because an 18-year-old white kid, like, showing off watches and stuff.
He's dripped, bro. He's dripped out.
Like, he doesn't feel like that guy. Did you see he's the first white American
number one pick
since 1977? I think I saw that, 1977.
That makes sense.
Well, it does make sense. I'm just like, wow. That was like, oh, wow, okay.
So there's been obviously a foreign player then as the number one pick.
I think, do you remember what, like, Nowitzki was or something?
I don't, but that's a good call.
Maybe it's Nowitzki. I don't know who I'm sure maybe there are several.
Yeah.
But I think I saw that. I kind of ran across. I didn't really dig deep on that, but I ran across it, which hopefully it's true.
Oh, got him.
But that's pretty wild. I mean, that's like 50 years.
Dirk was 9. I'm going to figure this out.
Dirk was 9. Yeah, let's take a break. We might do that in the break. And then we'll talk some football. We might talk a little jumbo shrimp as we are scheduled to have David Carpenter on the show, the manager of the Shrimp. So we'll look into that.
Look at Walt.
Wow, he got his jazz hat.
They got my guy with the right hat.
Like, that fits so much because I can't tell if it's photoshopped in.
That's fair,
or if it's like somebody just said, hey, dude, change your hat. You just got traded. Plop this on.
They gave bro the Wizards hat, and he was kind of excited. And then they gave him the Jazz hat, and he was like, damn.
Oh, man.
YB said Walter got picked by 2 bad teams. You bet he did. The 2 worst.
That's what happens. It's amazing how Utah went. They were like in the mix, and then, bam, they hit the basement quick.
Yeah, they're not very good.
The other thing I was stunned by is how many people he was allowed to have there.
You have a lot.
The contingent around Walter Clayton was like 20 deep.
Yeah, there's a lot of humans.
I didn't think the place would be that big enough to.
Everybody's got a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
That's nice. They should be able to celebrate.
Look at Walt. He's like, damn, Utah. That's all right though.
He does have a cool swag to him, though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like it. He's got a good look. Like even that last night, the look was good. I liked what he had.
I hope they give him a chance, man. Dude can ball.
Way better look than Joe Burrow.
Go to break.
We'll be right back. Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet's truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
The Fleet continues its summer swing with the Jacksonville Armada men's and women's teams finding success on the pitch so far in 2025. The girls in blue find themselves in the thick of a three-way battle for the Sunshine Conference crown with an undefeated mark at home. They wrap up the schedule with a pair of Friday night showdowns. As for the boys in blue, they remain unbeaten this summer and top the table in their conference, with crucial road games still to come down the stretch against Naples and New Orleans, after a final home game versus FC Florida. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Sun's out, suits out. That's right, it's summertime in Florida, which means it's time to say goodbye to bulking season and hello to shredding season. But if you're like me, you're having a hard time sculpting and shaping those final pounds. That is until I came and saw my friends over at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Right now, everyone is hopping on the Evolve X train, and the only destination is finding your perfect summer body. The technology uses electrical muscle stimulation and radio frequency energy to cause your muscles to contract, all while heating up those deep layers of your skin and tissue to produce collagen and reduce fat. It's like doing 1,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes. No pain, no needles, just results, right?
That's right.
So leave those winter layers back at the station and come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Almost, man. We almost got it.
This guy needs more material, too.
Cowherd, man.
Yeah, this will play.
I can't wait till what bro's going to say today.
What time does he do his show?
Not a clue.
Yeah, I don't either. That's funny.
Like 1 o'clock?
I can't wait to see what time he does stuff. What time is he doing? I have no idea.
I don't.
Well, the beauty of that is it will be somewhere,
yeah,
right?
I don't have to watch it. Someone will, it'll end up somewhere. I'll find it. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Poor whatever his real name was.
Cedric.
That's like another thing. It's like, I don't really know that guy.
No.
He was, which one was he? He was Maryland? No.
Washington something? Western Washington? Northern Washington? I don't know. Good for him. Well, sort of good for him. But, yeah, there you go. That's what we almost got. By the way, Andrea Bargnani, Andrew Bogut. Two first overall picks that were international, but white dudes.
The kid, the other one you said he's from France, wasn't he?
No. Bargnani was from Italy.
Italy.
Bogut was from Australia.
Well, Bogut was okay, right?
Bogut played a long time.
Yeah. The other dude wasn't.
No? You sure?
He just fizzled?
No.
He was okay?
06 to 16.
Really?
14 a game.
Tells you 14 a game.
Also, Blake Griffin was picked first over. I don't know where you put Blake.
Yeah. That's a kind of a fascinating stat. You know, it's some of the. It's interesting how if you do watch the draft again. I feel like I just somehow land on the draft. What time? There's nothing. They haven't had a great time. There's nothing else going on really, right? So you can take the spotlight, and so you kind of end up watching it. And now you hear teams like Madrid or Barcelona. You know, you'd think soccer, but the basketball is really good in those clubs too. And a lot of guys have come from and done very well. So you're actually starting to get familiar. And by the way, folks that are listening and really watching NBA, I mean, you'd probably, these are like second nature teams now, even maybe the ones in France and other places. But it is interesting to my ears that I even like recollect like where these, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good teams. Those are good basketball programs. And it doesn't just have to be Duke and North Carolina and Kentucky, where everyone comes from. I think that's what more NBA talk than ever before. But I think with this transfer portal stuff in the NIL, I think you are going to get like the Rutgers of the world and the Illinois of the world and the Texas Techs of the world getting more draft picks than probably ever. Just depends if you want to pay to play.
Yep.
It's not just now. I say it's not just Duke, and then 3 of them in the top 10. So I guess there is a little bit of Duke still.
That's fair.
That happens. Let's talk a little football because we'll have a little charity spotlight coming up at 11 again with North Florida Junior Golf Foundation, our Action Sports Jack Stream 18. We started pushing it out yesterday. We got people registering.
How about that?
So we appreciate it. I know it's always fun. It's fun to see that when that really happens.
Real quick, does Griffiths listen to the show?
I think sometimes, yeah.
Are you worried about what I'm going to follow that up with? Does he make these graphics?
I believe he does.
Dan. 16:9, always, my guy.
Yeah, he usually doesn't do that. I saw this one was a little more.
Never again.
I can hold off on it and
I've got
put
it
a background if you need it.
No, I mean, this is what we got.
Okay.
We're going with what we got.
We're going with what we got. But
best? No.
Usually they are 16. Aren't they usually bigger?
From the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
But everybody's afraid to say what I'm going to say. I'm not afraid. 16:9, Dan.
Well, yeah, you and Stuart
Long ways.
would preach that a lot. We like 16:9. It fits.
That's okay, Dan.
A lot better. Same thing. Hey, by the way, when you send your anything in, catches of the day, sports@actionnewsjacks.com. Horizontal video is way better than yes. It's way better
this is
than
what we want. Not this.
We don't want the Instagram. We don't care about that one. Although we've had to adapt as well. It is probably like I get. You try to be a little bit different, right? I don't understand why we can't have uniformity in that. I don't understand why we have to consume things on Instagram this way and like everything else this way. It changes everything.
It does.
And it's pretty amazing if you think about like how Instagram has really been able to impact people because they do it.
Yeah.
Like more people, it's so uncommon for me to like put my phone up and down because I just don't use Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
And
it's the youth, Brent, they're ruining everything.
Well, they are. And so even if I go take a picture of like Kaylee and a friend or something like that, and they ask me to take a picture, I'll be like, And then I'll say, okay, here, I'll take one for you guys too. Up and down.
That's crazy work.
But I remember it just in that mode. That's it. But I don't get why we have to do it. Like, what's the point of this? We're trying to change it just to be different, but I don't think they helped themselves in the early going specifically. Because for people like us, if we want to put your stuff out there and pump up Instagram even more, it's hard work.
Hard work.
But apparently they don't need us.
They don't need us.
What's even crazier, though, is now they didn't start off owned by Facebook.
No.
But Facebook is very 16 by 9.
Yeah, they are.
Right? Or whatever, horizontal video or pictures. And their Instagram is not. So they've got both platforms. Anyway.
Look at us.
Horizontal video instead of vertical video, please.
Horizontal graphics.
Horizontal graphics.
Everything
16 by 9
horizontal.
graphics.
If you want to make it vertical for your own personal gain, that's fine.
I wonder if it's easier to make it a certain way, or if you just kind of look a little different.
I would guess it probably depends on the amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, this graphic as a horizontal, I'd probably be complaining, why is there nothing on it?
Yeah, just too much space to fill.
But give me dead space, horizontal versus this. Me too. Because I don't really have a good answer for this, but we're going to try. Anyway.
We have really learned over the years to dress it up in the video world too. And I will say this now, you take something like that, you're like, oh, I don't like how that looks on TV, with a little black background and a blur and a whatever, and dress it up. And now I'm just like so used to it. It's like, yeah, whatever. People are, it's like cell phone video, which by the way can be very good. But even bad cell phone video, people don't care.
No. I can't really do much from this seat.
I'm stunned by, I am stunned by that progression over time that we used to, we had this rush to go to Best Buy and other places to get these TVs that are 75 inches. Mm-hmm. And now we do everything off a 3-inch and we're fine with the picture quality being crap.
What a world, huh?
It is amazing. Now, we still like it when the picture quality is good.
Yeah.
On the 75-inch TV.
That's cool.
So we kind of balance both, but it's like, that's a big thing, man. That's like if you're used to eating steak dinners and then also just going to have a ham sandwich is okay.
One piece of ham on bread with mold on it.
Yeah, most people aren't usually doing both. We're okay to consume, though, whatever ways. All right, well, let's get to Daniel Griffiths. Hey, look at you. That looks fantastic, by the way. Nice job.
It don't.
Oh, it does look good on the screen.
The original thing that I was conjuring up, I was like, oh, this sucks. And then I thought about this, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens.
That does look pretty good.
All right.
Yesterday, we talked about the secondary. And the one thing when we talk about the secondary, we think the corners, right? There's a lot of attention on the corners. There's really not a lot of attention on the safeties. And if you go back to last year, at the beginning of the season, I know we said this on our show. I don't know if this was the overall thought in Jacksonville, but the weakness of the Jags looked like the safety position. Like really from a depth standpoint and everything else. So they've got some players that you could lead into. I thought Andre Sisco was going to have a big year. I really did. It was a contract year for him. I like him as a player. And he didn't. He just did not. It ended up being a really rough position. Well, they brought Darnell Savage in. He wasn't really supposed to play safety at first. They're mixing in and out. Andrew Wingard gets hurt, and you're begging for Wingard to be healthy at some point in the season. Like, dang. But they were really going to lean on Wingard more than I think people thought. So now we fast forward to this year, and the Jags address it. But have they really addressed it? Are the Jags good at safety? They have bodies at safety. But they also have question marks at safety. Where is Darnell Savage in year 2? It looks like he's going to now be safety. It's not like this nickel thing. Jags got 14 nickels, it feels like. So I don't think he's in that mix. But Sisco's gone, and you bring in a veteran player from Houston, which I always think is a bit dangerous. Like, why is Houston getting rid of him, right? Why is Houston letting him walk? Why aren't they keeping him on a very good defense? Plus, he's 31 years old, and how does he mesh into what you're trying to do? Could be a very good thing, but also a question mark. I'll even give you a guy like Caleb Branshaw in the 3rd round. How quick are they going to adapt him to safety? How quick is he going to acclimate to the NFL? And Casey, he's a big question mark because he's a corner by trade that can really tackle and has the skill set to play safety. I don't mind that projection, but you just don't know how it's going to play out. So Savage, Wingard, Murray, Ransaw, you name it, all the way down, Daniel Thomas and the rest. Like, how good are the Jags at safety? I still think you can argue it's a pretty weak spot.
Yeah, and a couple things there. Glenn just said in the chat, Ransaw can be our guy for years, tough leader. So to that point, I think what's most interesting about the safety position, and by the way, I forget they signed Eric Murray. Like, if I had to write down everybody they signed right now, I would have forgot Eric Murray.
Yeah, I think he's an easy one to forget with all due respect to him.
Sorry about it. But so it's interesting you say that about safety, and I agree with you, right? You don't really know what you got there, but what's crazy is all of those people have been paid. Not necessarily by James Gladstone, but Savage, they brought him in and paid him. Murray, paid him. Wingard, who's been here, but was extended. And then you use draft capital on Ransaw. So, like, it's probably not a good thing that you're sitting there saying, and I agree with you, that you don't really know what you got at safety and it doesn't scream that it's going to be great. And all of the guys you are somewhat invested in. Could you cut them? Sure, I guess. But, like, you went out of your way to spend money on all of them. Bunch of different regimes, but still the point stands. Like, you would expect them to be good for what you have invested in that position. And I agree with you, man. I don't have a ton of confidence just because I don't think we've seen it enough. Really, we haven't seen it all with Murray, but Savage, again, last year was weird. Wingard's probably the one you know the most about, but also I think there's a bit of a scenario if Wingard's out there over a Murray, over a Savage. You're like, what happened with one of those two guys?
Yeah.
And people want to see Ransaw.
They do want to see him. How quick will they be able to see him? I don't discount that. Maybe he's a very good pick. I know he's athletically like that could be a very good find for this James Gladstone draft class. I just think how quick can he help you? So, I mean, look, there's some of the numbers for Murray, and I feel like what the Jags tried to do here with Murray is, and maybe even Ransaw, and I think you have this hopefully with a healthy Wingard and Darnell Savage maybe finding a groove and a better fit. There is an element of that now, right? And what we all think, if you take the same players from last year and you put this coaching staff on them, we think it's automatically going to be better. Scheme, staff, everything else. I mean, it can't be much worse, quite frankly. So there's an element of, okay, yeah, you can just be there and be better. And I buy that. I really do. I think you can breathe and be a little bit better in some areas this year than last year. I also think if you look at these kind of numbers, he's not an elite safety, I don't think. I don't think anybody's confusing that, or he's not been paid like one, and especially at his age. But I think he's been a reliable guy. And I think if you go back to last year's safety room, it became very unreliable.
For sure.
I mean, Andre Sisco had a bad year. So what you're trying to do if you're Gladstone was that this goes to the raise the floor commentary, because you're just like, hey, let's just be steady. Like, we're not trying to be elite. We're not trying to be elite at this position. We can be elite at the front. We can be elite at wide receiver. But let's be steady. And in a place that we weren't steady. So I think that's what when you say raise the floor, they say raise the floor. That's what that means. And I think Murray's a great indication of doing that. But I also think if you're a critic, and there aren't many of them right now here in Jacksonville, but if you're an outside looking in critic, this is a room that if you match up last year versus this year, and you're like, why should I think the Jags are better? It is a room that kind of screams that. I think that's been the argument, Casey, for this. Okay, how much better are the Jags? When people ask me that, well, I think they're better at wide receiver. I think if they play Armstead, they're better on their front. They've got more edge depth. Yeah, that's about it. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're worse at tight end by statistics, with all due respect to Brent and Strange and who they sign. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're doing exactly at corner. So
they're better at running back by just adding a human.
I think they're better at running back by adding a guy. Yeah. So
2 humans.
But like, it's a muddy answer. Yeah. It's a fair question with a muddy answer, which makes you pause and be like, okay, how much better are they than last year? I think they're really relying on coaching. They're really relying on scheme, and they're really relying on Murphy's Law a little bit because of some of the stats that we've been saying for months and months about close games, turnovers, and running the football on the offensive side of the ball. But this is a great indicator of, again, nothing against Eric Murray. Like, Eric Murray is a fine player. It just speaks volumes about where they're at, I think, as an organization, where this is they're going to try to elevate this room at some point, right? And get stars.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's hard to say, oh, yeah, we got a star in the safety room.
No, they don't. But like you said it, and I think it's like spot on to the point. Like, in my opinion, you need stars at wide receiver to win games in the NFL. Because there are plenty of corners that are stars and can make your non-star receivers kind of look that way. And on the flip side, it feels like everybody's got at least a star receiver. So I think you need those guys. They have two of them. You talk about your front. I think you need stars off the edge, and if you have push in the interior with your edge stars, like I think that makes you win football games. Having a star at safety, in my opinion, does not necessarily make you win football games. Although I think the good teams do it and have a star at safety. But I think if you have a guy at safety, and maybe Eric Murray's that guy, maybe Savage will be the other guy, maybe not. We'll see. Just don't screw up.
Yeah.
It's like the one job.
Yeah.
It's like kicker. Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Don't let Devontae Adams run by you. And if somebody else blows the coverage completely, go do something about it. You know what I mean? It's like the one thing where it's like just literally do what you're told. And you're probably not going to have a major impact on losing a football game unless you don't do what you're supposed to do. And that's why I don't think you need a star there. You just need a guy that has high football IQ, that understands what they're supposed to do at all times, and just kind of play the position.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready, like you said, to get stars in that room, or maybe you have one in Ransaw, you develop them, who knows, then I think that's when you start to take a step to be like an elite team. Because you've seen it with like the Chiefs, and you saw it with, who do we talk about? Seattle, right? Legion of Boom.
Yeah. Baltimore's done it. Right.
Baltimore's done it, right?
I think even to a degree, the Bills have been very good at their safety position over this little run here.
But it's not something that you say, we got to fix this first. You take Baltimore, right? They drafted Hamilton because they had a damn good team the rest of the way. A ton of people said Hamilton might be the best player in the draft. That's fine. You're not taking a safety there because you need all these other impact positions. Baltimore's like, hey, we can take him because we're ready for that. They get a star there and makes them that much better, but their team was ready for that. Jags aren't ready for that. But they'll start to become ready for that if guys like Murray just do their job.
Yeah, I think it's again, for me, it's the ultimate raise the floor position group. It really feels like that's what they're doing to steady it out. And before you can get great at a position, maybe you steady it out. Because keep in mind, in the free agency period, there was a guy that everybody wanted the Jags to take a look at and get. It would have been excited about this, and we're probably talking about the room a little bit different. That was Holland coming out of Miami, right? People are like, they passed on him. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't do that. They were, hey, we're not spending that kind of money on him. This isn't, we either don't believe in him that way, and by the way, Campanile had he had been down there with him. So that might have been enough intel, or they just might have said, hey, from a roster construction investment standpoint, that's not where we're doing this right now. Mm-hmm. To what you just said about Baltimore. Might be like a last piece or a next year piece. You know, I do think the tight end room kind of fits that way too. It's like, all right, we're going to back off that tight end room from an investment standpoint. We're going to see what we have in a young player, and then if we have to beef it again next year and go after some more star power, maybe that will be the time to do it. And I think the safety and tight end rooms are pretty similar. Let's kind of Band-Aid that up, get these guys playing at a level we think they can play at. We believe in them. Again, I'm not trying to come across, if you're listening to your Jag safety, like you guys stink. That's not really the message. It's just that it's not a sexy position on the Jags. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. Which is, to your point, it's not really a sexy position to begin with.
No.
Right? Across the league, I always think one of the hardest things to find, and this was even going way back to the Gus defense, when Gus's defense was really good in Seattle because they had Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Well, one of the hardest positions to find is that free safety, especially in that defense, but in almost any defense, that's elite. Like a free safety elite guy, they don't grow on trees, man. Like, that is not a common thing, because if the dude's that good, he's usually maybe playing corner and tracking somebody around if he's that athletic and gifted and everywhere else. So, and of course, we've seen them morphing, 3 safety looks and everything else. The Jags are fine at safety.
That was my idea.
Yeah,
You remember my idea of the 3 safety look? I drew it on that paper.
I remember.
That's my idea.
Mike Caldwell listened.
Yeah, he did. And he got fired. My bad, Mike.
Maybe he shouldn't have.
My guy.
In hindsight, maybe he shouldn't have.
Honest mistake.
I actually think this Campanile defense will play a lot of those kind of things, right? That mix that back up and play guys, and they do have a lot of versatility. I will say that about the Jags. Their entire defense has a lot of versatility. It's just a matter of how much they put on everybody's plate. Yeah. Read all about that, actionsportsshacks.com. And Daniel Griffiths writes about it, even if he does make the non-16 by 9 graphic.
9, Dan, if you're listening.
Maybe he was just trying to push it out on Instagram, grow the brand a little bit for Daniel
His
Griffiths.
brand?
Yeah, well,
you know what? This is actually my biggest beef with you. You want to know my number one beef of all time with you?
Oh, how did this turn already? What's that?
Because I've been thinking about it for a while, and I was waiting for it to come up organically, and this is the closest I'm ever going to get.
I like this.
You used to yell at me about selfish ambition.
Oh, yeah. We still yell at everybody about selfish ambition.
Nobody gets the selfish ambition. You used to clown me on the air about selfish ambition. I see everybody else here selfishly ambitioning themselves to be better. Every human. Except Austen. But Austin's not really here. I see Hamby. I see Stewart. I see Marcel. I see Liv. Freaking Daniel Griffiths is doing it. Nobody gets the lecturing I got. I got it every day. Hey, you made another clip about Kate. Yeah, I did.
Well, I was on a selfish ambition kick for a bit.
It was all me.
But no, it wasn't just you. It actually started in the sports office.
We'll start yelling at them on the air.
But maybe I got to do it on the air because funny you say it. I've actually brought up selfish ambition several times in the last week inside that sports office.
Oh.
So it's been resurfaced a bit. But
good.
Well, I will say this. The check I have today is a lot bigger for you than it is for Griffiths, so he's got to work on his ambition.
Got you, buddy.
There you
16 by 9, though. Actually, you know what? Build the brand.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do, my guy. Whatever it takes.
We'll be back on the Brent and Austen Show. Don't forget the Jacksonville Armada, Fleet and Footy today at 2 o'clock. And then tomorrow we have the ladies on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. Final home match. The men, I think, are playing tonight. Did I see that right? I think they're playing tonight away. And then we get ready for a playoff run. It looks like we're going to have playoff soccer in Jacksonville with the Jacksonville Armada also on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. Fleet and Footy today with Lewis and Stewart, and Casey will be along as well. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
The Fleet continues its summer swing with the Jacksonville Armada men's and women's teams finding success on the pitch so far in 2025. The girls in blue find themselves in the thick of a three-way battle for the Sunshine Conference crown with an undefeated mark at home. They wrap up the schedule with a pair of Friday night showdowns. As for the boys in blue, they remain unbeaten this summer and top the table in their conference, with crucial road games still to come down the stretch against Naples and New Orleans, after a final home game versus FC Florida. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Kinetico reverse osmosis system with a purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Kinetico water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with their inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
It's fast-paced.
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
High fly.
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
Action-packed. Weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks.
I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gonna be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This is the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the Drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Jacksonville Sharks hit the road this week to... Where the heck do they go? I don't know. I'll have to look it back up. But they're not home. And then they're off for the 4th of July week, and then they're back home on July 12th. That's the big part. You get out to the arena on July 12th and watch the Jacksonville Sharks. You can also watch Shark Bites tomorrow and Saturday, heading into their game on the road, wherever they are, on ActionSportsJax.com. And Sharks playing good, though. 8-4. They're right in the middle of it. I really enjoyed last week's conversation with Jason Gibson before that game. And then I'll tell you what, whatever message he put on, they delivered. They scored on every possession of the game last week.
Des Moines, Iowa.
I tell you what, some of the road trips in this indoor football league.
I would say all of them.
All of them, really, right? Quad City. They've been to Massachusetts a couple of times.
Tulsa.
They go Arizona, Tulsa. Man,
Indiana.
That ain't cheap to travel now. A little bit of an investment. But again, they've been a good home team. Okay. Road is a little bit more difficult. Let's see if they get the dub coming up on Saturday. Shark Bites tomorrow and Saturday on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Oh, you see that comment? YB? Casey, Brent be hard on you because he sees a lot of greatness in you. That ain't it.
That's good coaching, right, YB 400?
That ain't it.
That's right. That's why we get after Casey.
YB, I can't explain.
Tough love right there, man.
I make a clip one time we're interviewing Demario Douglas, and Brent goes on Twitter with 40,000 followers and tags every member of Action Sports Jax and says, selfish motivation right here, guys. And I was like, oh.
Selfish ambition.
Ambition, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it. Go.
He doesn't get over these things, YB 400.
I do not.
I don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
I don't forget these type of things.
You got to be careful who you take shots at. Casey's one of those. You got to pick your moments.
You got to pick your moments.
You got to pick your moments, man. You never know. Jack Aschenbach, he can handle it all.
He can.
Get up on that microphone so we can hear you. You can pull that down a little bit if it's more comfortable. You got to be comfortable. Settle in, man.
Yeah, settle in.
It's my guy. It's our charity spotlight we continue to have, and you look at Jack's shirt there. It says NFJG Tour. That's North Florida Junior Golf Tour, North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. You check out that hat. That's a nice lid, we like to say. Hey, you're pulling that off pretty good for an old guy.
No, it's not bad,
You
right?
curved it. We were talking about this yesterday on the show.
Can't take it off,
Sits kind of high.
No hair.
And but that's one of the Dream 18 hats from a couple of years ago. Casey wants another one. He wore that proudly for a while.
It's a great hat.
It's a good hat. And Jack helped me start the Dream 18 back in 2010. We have other people that really contributed to this thing along the way. Steven Sesnick was in here yesterday from us. We were just talking about he built the graphics early on. We're watching some of the old Dream 18s, which we're going to play on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Mark Spencer helped out early on. I remember talking to him at TPC about the idea, and then met Jack, and Jack kind of helped get this thing going. Here we are 15 years later and raise some dollars for the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. You were not with NFJG at that time.
I was not. I was at Amelia National Country Club.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. You were a golf pro.
I was.
And you've been a bunch
Still
of...
am.
You still are?
Yeah, still are.
In heart?
Yeah, no, I'm a PGA professional.
Oh, PGA.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
absolutely.
I thought you meant like at Amelia
But
National.
not at a country club. Yeah, no.
How does that work? Like how... Once a PGA pro, always a PGA pro? Do you have to still kind of...
Yes.
Do you have to test or...
Well, at the beginning,
shape?
you have to test. So you have to pass a player ability test. You got to go through all the academics, the classes. It takes about 4, 5, 6 years to do that. And then once you're a pro, unless you elect to convert back to amateur status or
intentionally, right?
Intentionally,
yeah.
And just a clarification too. There's a difference between a tour player and a PGA of America member.
Absolutely,
which we are, right? Yeah. As club managers.
But to get into it, like if you want it to be in your profession, you still have to be a pretty good player.
You do. You have to pass a player ability test. It was tougher, harder years ago, like when I took it.
It was.
Because you had to shoot a number for 36 holes. And if you missed it by one stroke, which I did the first time.
Give us the idea of the number.
Like 75.
Okay.
So,
a few over par.
A couple over par.
Yeah.
So they give you based on course rating. They give you so many strokes over the course rating.
Yeah, but now it's a bit easier. Because they're probably trying to get more people in the profession, right?
That's true. And it is a bit easier. It's more about the management side of it versus the playing side of it. But we have great players, and we simply do. But it is more about the management side of it. And we lost a lot of great people. And I can think of the girl that works for me, Jody Clark, who's my tournament operations manager, completed all the books but couldn't pass the test. And now she's a great player. But now it's 6 years later, and PGA lost her. Or Barbara Harris at Windy Harbor. Same thing. Lost 2 great female professionals that could have been. That just couldn't pass the player ability test.
Because it was too stringent on the player side. So you like the fact that they've loosened it up probably.
I do because, if you want to play. But it is about management. Barbara Harris is one of our best club managers. But she's now in the LPGA versus the PGA, which she's still professional, but it's still good.
So you'd been to Queens Harbor, Amelia National, and then you morph into this role.
Deer Creek. I was at Windy Harbor first, 5 years,
Harbor.
Then Deer Creek, 6 years.
Windy Harbor, by the way, very cool golf course right there in Mayport.
Fun to play. You want to get confidence in your game, go to Windy Harbor and play. It's a beautiful golf course. The golf course is immaculate. The greens are perfect, and you just got to have a lot of fun with it. A lot of military folks.
Yeah.
So, but it's open to non-military. So you can get a pass and you can get down there even with security restrictions. You can still get down there, do a background check. Obviously, you got to go through that. But
so it's a little bit more stringent to do it, but it's worth the play.
It is.
I haven't been there now in a while, and I'm saying that, but it's worth it.
Listen, I love all the golf courses in Jacksonville, but Windy Harbor is one of my favorite. And not because I'm military. It's because it's just a fun golf course to play. You can go on the front side and shoot 29. And you go on the backside night and day, and you shoot 49.
Wow!
So and you get into the breezes because it heads into the ocean. So
when Jack says you could shoot 29, he's meaning like him.
Yeah,
not me.
One time.
You shot 29 there?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Shot 60.
That's a good player.
64 at Windy Harbor. Yeah.
You're still playing all right, or you backed off a little bit because of some injuries?
My back has been bothering me a lot, and it's caused me a lot of strokes here and there.
Yeah. But then you end up at NFJG.
Yep.
And you've been there for, probably a decade?
13 years.
Plus, yeah.
This is my 13th year. Yeah.
And you've really helped build it up. I mean, you and the folks that, that have really put a lot of work into it, into one of the premier junior golf tours in Florida.
It was before I took it over. A great organization. Boots Farley was then the director of golf there, and But my mindset was a little bit different. I kind of reshaped it into a more competitive tour, and started raising some stellar players, which we even had then. But now we have even bigger and better juniors with aspirations of going tour. So.
Yeah, you think about it right now, and we've mentioned these names if you listen to our show before, the Miles Russells of the world, the Tyler Mawinnies of the world.
Philip Dunhams
of the world. They play on this tour. They've played on the tour. They've gone through there, whether it's a couple of events or a lot of events, but those are the kind of players that have kind of passed through, which is pretty cool.
It is. It gives me no greater joy than to watch these kids grow up. I mean, Philip Dunham, we mentioned that name, at age 10, had 7 birdies in his first 9 holes at the Slammer Esquire from the red tees. He's from red tees, but 7 birdies. Go to the red tees. Try to get 7 birdies in 9 holes. I mean, these kids are good,
really good.
And today we got guys like yesterday. We finished the Jacks Beach Open at Jacks Beach Golf Club, and Brady Dugan, shot a little 66.
Wow.
To win the championship after shooting 74 the first day, and then Barton Abstein the first day shot 66. So these kids are crazy, and the girls were shooting even par. We don't have too many girls that shoot under par right now, but even par, a little bit over. A lot of good girls too.
You've been around the game of golf for a long time. Is it as good as it's ever been in that respect? Then, I mean, more people that are good, and can get and score like that at a younger age probably than ever before. I mean, a little bit of the Tiger effect, the Rory effect, the everything else. Is that a true thing, or do you think people are just as good?
It ebbs and flows because when I first took over and we established the tour at the beginning, we had a super group of kids that that they meshed together, right? And it was a big number. And since COVID, I would say, my elite players, which used to be maybe 160 players, now it's kind of more down to the 120-ish in the elite side. So we're having to regrow our talent.
Interesting.
But you mentioned, Tyler Mawinnie and Philip Dunham and Miles Russell, and they're the cream of the crop over the last 10 years. Tyler Mawinnie won everything when he played on the NFJG Tour. He's still a member. Miles won, I think, twice out of the 6 or 7 times he played.
Okay.
But Philip Dunham won 50 times.
Really?
He was so good on tour, and he is good right now. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yeah, and by the way, we're talking about kids that are now like 16 years old.
16, 17 years old. That's right. That's not far. It's
not
long
like
ago.
25.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. Like that's
exactly.
But that makes them, how much ready do you think that makes kids like that have had the experience of winning, coming down the stretch in the lead maybe? How much will that pay off for them now in the big tournaments that they're playing in, but in the colleges that they go, or potentially in the professional ranks?
Big time. That's our goal, right? We're readying kids, 1, to play high school golf, and 2, to get through the high school competitions and play college golf, and then 3, their goal. I mean, only a handful get there, but the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, and get kids ready for it. And they all have the talent, and the difference is the mindset. Find the kids with controlling the brain or the mind, and they're the guys. They're the kids going to the tour.
Well, and the thing is, you don't know that until you see it.
I
mean, you can see a kid make a nice swing, and he can hit it a mile or any of those. You don't know that part until they get in it.
That's right.
So you're giving them some reps at that part. Your schedule goes September, October to March?
We open membership in September. We start our first event in October, late October, because high school golf is going on. So we stop during high school golf. We prepare the kids for high school golf, and then we stop in August. And then we rebuild, and then late October, when the high school golf is done, then we start our program. So we go from October to like the end of July will be our last event. So we're at the end of our season already.
Yeah.
And between that period is 36 events. 24 one day, 12 2-day, and it's just, weekend after weekend after weekend events. And typically, majority of the fields are averaging like, 70 to 75 as an average. We have as many as 120 in the field. So we get 407 members right now, which is crazy for today's golf.
Wow.
Because the golf is so demanding, and it's very difficult to get our juniors on the golf course because courses are making so much money.
Yeah, we were just talking about this in the last couple of days. I mean, it's such a different golf landscape. When we started the Dream 18, the idea behind the Dream 18 was, just in full transparency, threefold, okay?
Yep.
Like, when I grew up wanting to do this for a living, I was like, hey, I'm going to do something with golf someday. Like, I like golf, and why not? The other thing was we started half-hour shows, and we needed some content in the summer, like right about now. Like, what are we putting in the half-hour shows? But really, the third and probably the most important part of it was we had just come out of the recession. Golf was not in a good way. In 2008, 2009, 2010. Courses were shutting down, actually, starting up and shutting down. It was like, man, don't build a new golf course.
Right.
It's not going
They were shutting
well.
down, yeah.
And we live in a great golf area. So the idea was to get kind of and push golf courses, get promotion for the golf courses, showcase the golf courses in Jacksonville. And so that's why we started the Dream 18 in the way we did. And some of that, we just would play a hole. It was a TV segment for 5 years where we just played different golf courses and promoted different holes and par threes and stories behind them and all this. Well, we eventually ran out of celebrities to play with.
Which was great. We had some good celebrities.
Yeah, we had some. We've been going over some of them, and it was pretty good to look back on them. And it's really neat, probably, if I could and had the time to deep dive where all the kids that played with us from the first tee and other places are right now. Some of them still involved with golf, or some of them just moved on to other things in their life. So anyway, that's kind of how this thing was born, and kind of our partnership and relationship was born. Well, it ain't that way right now. Coming out of the pandemic, like, they don't need us.
No, that is true.
The golf courses don't need us. Like, we, and by the way, golf unfortunately will kind of tell you that.
Yeah.
Because the golf course folks can be very greedy, not like the local people, but they're owned by corporations.
That's right.
So you can get you want the dollar.
The order comes down from the top.
And you want to take advantage of this time, right? Yeah. So it is it's pretty wild to see the different landscape. I understand we go through ebbs and flows. The economy can even play a role in golf and who's golfing. But nobody saw what happened with the pandemic.
Correct.
Doing what it's done to golf. I mean, the kids are playing golf at a crazy rate. And not just if you're good.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody wants to play.
Everyone wants to play.
Yeah, everybody.
So
from the middle schooler, even the kindergartner, they want to play golf. They're out there pounding balls and they want to play.
So it's a good thing though, right? Like, when
you've
grown, I mean, even for a small degree, like what we've done with the Dream 8, it's kind of like, hey, it feels like golf's in a great place.
It is in a great place. But it's frustrating because it's in such a great, right? So I have to remind PGA professionals, one, you're a PGA professional and you have a responsibility to grow the game of golf. And you have to go to your owners, you have to go to your corporate people and say, listen, we have a responsibility to grow the game, because eventually
it's going to dip back down.
It's going to.
Yes.
And now you don't have the crop that you grew. Now you got to start growing now. And now it's going to take 5-10 years to do that.
That's right.
I mean, so if you're listening, PGA professionals, we have a responsibility to grow the game.
Yeah, you've got to have an eye on the future down the road for the potential dip, right? I mean, I would think
we have to look at it.
You have to do that. Well, part of what you guys do as well with the NFJG Foundation, North Florida Junior Golf Foundation, is scholarships. Right. This isn't just, hey, highlighting great golfers.
Yeah.
This is scholarships, and you guys have raised a ton of money over the years, a few $100,000 and given out in scholarships, which is pretty cool.
Correct. Yeah, we typically on the annual basis try to give out about $28,000 in scholarships, and we try to give out 6 or 8 scholarships. I mean, we give out the NFJG scholarship. We used to have the Bill Straub scholarship, which was a $10,000 scholarship. He was such a great,
amazing man.
Such a great man, a good sponsor of ours, friend of ours who passed away. But he used to give $10,000 for 5 or 6 years that he gave that scholarship, and he provided $100,000 or more in sponsorships. But the Henry Tootin Gator Bowl, we got 2 there. They sponsor us, which is just awesome. This year we started the Gary Vanover Scholarship.
Yeah, you just got done with that event in May.
We got done with that event in May, raised about $15,000 for scholarships. And we hope to continue that event. Gary was the FootJoy rep who passed away last year, and he was just great to everybody, PGA professional or not, and he was a PGA professional himself. So we honored him with this event and a scholarship in his name, which we'll present in August. And then we have a few other scholarships that we give out. This NFJG's got an $8,000 scholarship itself that we give out to applicants that put in, and we review their records and select based off their packages. And need.
Jack gave me notes, by the way, on this, and like the notes are long, which I appreciate you putting them together. But also, it just shows you how wide-reaching this has become, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not. Yeah. I think you get the NFJG tour, and you're thinking play golf, right?
Right. Exactly.
It's so far-reaching.
There's the foundation,
scholarships to everything else that really impact a lot of different places in Northeast Florida.
Absolutely. So I mean, the foundation wants to reach every avenue possible that we can. I mean, our goal obviously is to provide competitive golf. That's our goal. But we have a middle school program that we put together. We have a summer camp that we put together.
Tee It Up.
It's called the Tee It Up, and we revamped it the last couple of years. We spend $50,000 on these two programs, middle school and the summer camp. So we give lessons to the kids in the wintertime while they're in school, and in the summertime when they're out of school, we give them competition at different golf courses. We're at Brentwood, we're at Blue Cypress, we're at Bend Creek, Queens Harbor, Deer Creek, and everything's free.
Wow.
We get scholarships and we get grants through the Florida Junior Golf Council and through the sale of our players' tickets when that time comes around. So we appreciate those people who buy those
if you get
tickets.
a chance to buy players' tickets, and you do that, if you're a corporation, if you're whoever goes to the event, always look up Jack.
NFJG.org.
You guys are usually pretty high on that.
We
You
are.
do a great job.
We've been a number one ticket seller since I've been the director.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
So always look up North Florida Junior Golf Foundation if you can, and keep them in mind. With that, keep them in mind playing our Action Sports Shack Stream 18, which is coming up September 22nd. They'll be a recipient of some of those dollars along with St. Michael's Soldiers. ActionSportsShackStream18.com. We opened that up yesterday, so we've got some people already signing up, Jack.
Good.
I always like that.
I love it. I love it. Never too early.
Never too early.
But it could be too late.
To do that. So very cool what you guys do, and I know you've tried to get out of it, but you can't get out of it, can you? You want to retire. Just go watch those Packers play, but you can't.
I thought about, I see the Packers were on, to change the subject now. The Packers were on like 10 times last year on TV, so I get to watch my Packers. That's all right. But
another Wisconsin guy sitting in that seat.
This year's their year. Ooh, but let's not talk football, though. Come on. No, don't do it to me.
Hey, if you were watching the PGA Championship, you might have seen, was it PGA?
Yeah,
PGA
Championship.
PGA. Yeah, you might have seen Jack.
Oh.
How cool was that trip? Tell us a little bit more about that, because your military background.
Correct.
And because, again, Jack, this is beautiful for us because we tie in the military with our Dream
That's right.
18
That's
and our
right.
relationship.
St. Michael's.
And Jack has a deep background with the military as well. So what happened around PGA Championship time? That was pretty cool.
Well, first let's say PGA Hope was started by the PGA. It's one of the initiatives that they started to bring golf to the veterans who, through our research, obviously, and through news, military folks are, killing themselves all the time, right? And they're depressed. They've got PSTT or whatever illness they may have. And we wanted to bring something to the table, and golf was what we brought. And so we started this PGA Hope program. And over the last 3 or 4 years, we've had, hundreds of veterans that have come through the program. And have stated that without this program, I may not be here today. And it's very chilling to hear that. But so we started this program, and now it's just nationwide. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
PGA wraps their arms around it.
Yeah,
it can go pretty big.
Then the PGA came out with, let's put this program together, and it's called the Secretary's Cup. So qualifiers went out to each one of the sections that hosted the PGA Hope program, which is teaching our veterans golf. And we won our qualifier in North Florida. And then the sections at the 41 have to submit a package. And 12 sections get to go to the PGA Championship, Secretary's Cup. And we were selected. Our story was received very well. And thank you very much to North Florida PGA for doing that. And so we went to the PGA Championship up in Charlotte. We played the Carmel Country Club, which hosted us. It was just amazing what they did. I mean, it was members for a day. It was lockers. It was flags flying, police escorts. I mean, everywhere we went. We went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame for an opening dinner. We went back to Carmel for an opening breakfast, and we had the tournament, and it was pouring.
I saw that.
Absolutely pouring. And I just reflected back on when I went to Scotland. A couple of years ago, I took a whole bunch of kids to play a Ryder Cup in Scotland.
Yeah.
And it poured the whole time.
Did it the whole time?
But I never had so much fun playing golf in my life.
Really?
In the rain, in the wind, in the cold.
Because that's usually bad.
Yeah. I mean, you're in Scotland, so you accept that, right?
Yeah, you do.
So, but when I got back to Wisconsin, I went up to see the family, and it was August, right? And a cold front came through, and it was 50 degrees. 50 degrees in Wisconsin in August. wind was blowing and it was raining. I'm going like, okay, let's just continue this. But anyway, so it was absolutely a great time. So we won that event.
You won the event.
We won the event. And this is how it started.
And that's how you got mentioned during the telecast.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. So so our first hole was 430-yard par 4 into a 20-knot wind, pouring rain. We had like 220 yards to the hole on our second shot. Our closest was pin high, right in the bunker. We decided not to do it. We decided to take a 50-yard shot from in front of the green, up over a hill on the green, a slope going down to the hole, which was like 14 on the step meter. And one of our guys, Mr. Rios there, he hit that 50-yard shot, hit right on top of the hill and just slowly checked and rolled down and right into the cup. So it started out with a birdie. So we were ahead of the field already on that because everybody had to go through that.
That's awesome.
We birdied the next hole. 50-foot putt. We parred the next hole, leaving a couple on the lip, and then another 60-foot putt was made for birdie.
You guys were just rolling.
It was
magical.
And they were hearing us all through. I mean, all the TV cameras they're rushing to the noise because we are putting it on. And then, last hole, we looked at the scoreboard on the eighth hole. It was only a 9-hole tournament.
Okay.
So we looked at the scoreboard on the eighth hole and we found we were tied. And we needed to make a birdie to win it. And it was par 5, 500 yards. Couldn't get there in 2. But we had 80 yards and I was lucky to hit the shot. I had my 58-degree wedge, which is 80 yards perfect in a pouring rain. And a pouring rain is 8 foot. And then Don Moore, Chris Hunley made a best putt of his day there, but he missed the putt. And then Don Moore came in there and made that putt. And,
that's awesome.
And the crowd went wild, and we went wild. And
I should have brought
everybody's
the
hugging and kissing.
You can tell it is pouring down.
It was pouring,
too, man.
Yeah,
that got the juices flowing for the first time in a long time. Probably.
It did. It did.
That was pretty cool. And again, it was on the CBS broadcast that they got acknowledged for that.
Yeah.
And well earned, by the way.
It was fun.
Jack's a very humble guy, but he does a lot for a lot of different people. And that's one thing about the golf world that's pretty cool, right? There's a lot of give back in the golf world, a lot of community about the golf world.
That's right.
A lot of competition in the golf world as well. So before we let you go, Z Fortner says, don't want to say we need to boycott golf, but these rates are crazy. And they are. Like, as a golf pro, and obviously you can now look back, you're not at a certain course.
Right.
Do you think that golf rates are too crazy?
Are they too crazy? No, not for the times. Not really. I don't think that there are some that are high, but and everybody knows the ceiling. So and it's just through, if one club is going to get $90, other clubs are going to try to get $90.
Yeah.
In comparison, so.
And in reality, it's supply and demand. If it was too high, they wouldn't be filling it up, right?
And you can shop around. I mean, you have a card.
Yeah, we have the
right?
Dream 18
card. So save money.
Yeah.
I do auctions all the time. Bid on a round of golf,
and you get a good deal.
And you get a really good deal.
Yeah.
So there's other avenues that you can go to, and the Golf Channel, Mike
Lynch.
Mike Lynch, yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
has a very good program too that you can get on. So
Golf Now, yeah.
Golf Now.
Yeah, so that's been a very good program.
Huge,
right?
yeah.
And we have the Dream 18 card. And by the way, it's harder and harder to get people to sign up for the Dream 18
that's
card.
true.
Not players, but the golf courses.
That's true. That's true.
Away. That's how good the Dream 18. By the way, I'll say this: we have our allotment of basically golf cards, and we raise money for NFJG and St. Michael Soldiers with it. And it's a little bit a part of what we do each year just to kind of keep it all year round. But if you play golf and you don't have the Dream 18 card, you're crazy. If you travel around and play, because it's an unbelievable value, like so much so that really we have golf courses probably falling off a little bit compared to a couple of years ago because they just can't they say, I can't
take advantage of it.
Have that rate, right? So for the people that are still on it, you can get it. Action Sports Jax Dream 18.com. You can register for our golf tournament, but you can also get the card. And it's definitely worth it. It's only $49 to buy that. So it's definitely a great value.
Half of a round of golf.
Come on. Half a round of golf, which is pretty insane. So I'll ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
When we started this back in the day and when I met you, there were seriously golf courses being closed down.
There were.
And so when that started to happen, I was like, we'll never build. golf courses again. Well, they are kind of building golf courses
Yeah.
again, right? Opening them
Yeah.
up, whether it's a Stillwater, not a lot in the area have opened in the last
55 and
15,
up,
17 years. But
Yeah.
that's Stillwater down there on 210 has opened up. And yeah, that will be a
Nice golf
private
course.
membership.
Yep.
And will we see more golf courses be built, do you think? Or
I don't think so. I think what you'll see is golf courses will become better conditioned because of the money available to them. And you see it like in the Cimarron Golf Club,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
a couple of years
Yes.
ago was not in very good shape, right? Everybody would agree with that. And now it's turned around. And
They've really
it's
turned
hard
it
to get
around.
in that golf course, so because everybody's flocking to it.
well, and down there, especially if you take
A lot of
210, St.
courses
John's
are closed.
Golf and Southampton are now redoing in the next year
Correct.
or two.
Correct.
So Southampton, where we have our golf tournament, they'll shut down next May,
Yep.
and they'll revamp their golf course.
Correct.
It is good to see money being put back in because the one thing about a lot of play, you hammer the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't treat it well.
Yeah, and typically it's really all about greens in most cases.
Mostly.
I mean, people don't care if they hit off a beat up tee box.
They really don't.
I mean, you could put turf out there, and I don't think too many people will complain about it, right?
But you do want to be able to putt on a nice green.
But you do want to be able to putt and hit a shot that's receptive to a nice green. You do.
One last one for you. Where's NFJG? Just kind of in a good spot. Can you elevate it to another place? What's the future of it?
You know, we are partnered with so many people. The AJG, the Florida Junior Tour,
Yeah.
Nota Begay, JAGA,
Which is good.
women's
that you don't
amateur.
compete, you partner instead.
Yeah, we have over the past 10 years have really stepped it up. And is there somewhere we can go locally? No, we have to. I don't think so. We have 400 members. They're quality kids. 120 of them are girls. The others are boys. And it's tough to place them all. So, but we're in a good spot. And is it can it get better? We will sustain what we have.
Sustaining is okay. That's my point.
Yeah,
That's
and
okay.
we always have ideas
Yeah.
on how to excite people to play golf, and to get our kids more involved and the parents more involved, like the Bill Straub Adult Junior, or the Gary Vanover
Yeah.
event, or our team championships for FSGA and AJGA events and exemptions and all the initiatives that we give the kids, which is huge if you win or are doing well in the standings. I mean, you get rewarded for that in scholarship play.
That's
You
cool.
do.
Well, Jack Aschenbach and everybody with North Florida Junior Golf Foundation, we're happy to partner up with you with our Dream 18. Continued success with all the work. Someday you'll retire.
Yeah, someday. And I want to thank you, Brent, for everything that you've done, because you've been a huge supporter of junior golf and golf in general. And, without you, I don't know where we'd be.
I appreciate it. Easy to do with folks like Jack Aschenbach. NFJG.org, by the way, is the place to go to get more information. There's a lot. Get your kid involved in golf. Kids are loving to play. But, hey, have some competition. Play some. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be good. I think that's one
right.
of the barriers.
Yeah.
Like, I can't play in a golf tournament. I've got to be good.
We have a
No,
place
you
for
don't.
you. We have a place for you.
There's different flights.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
We have a flight for you.
Yeah, you should. Or if you have an adult, just go get in. Ty and I play.
Or we have
the
instruction
adult
for you.
juniors. Yeah, go get in the tournament. It's fun. Those
PGA
are
Junior
fun
League.
events. There you go. PGA Junior League.
First
another
tee.
one.
Yep.
There's plenty of them to go
US
around
kids.
in a great golf area like Jacksonville. Thanks to Jack Aschenbach. We'll root for your Packers just a little bit.
Yeah, go Pack.
Now the Wisconsin guy sitting in that chair. ActionSportsJackStream18.com, by the way. Sign up. Registration is open.
Sweet.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
for the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet is truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What are we doing here?
Mike, here we go. They killed off Marge.
On The Simpsons?
Yeah. Sort of.
Okay, this is fascinating to me. First of all, are you a Simpsons guy?
Not a religious watcher. But I rock with The Simpsons for sure.
Are there people that still are like... There's got to be, right? This has been running for decades.
On Fox 30.
But here's the part to me that I just got to take you inside my brain.
Yeah, please.
For a moment. I've never been like a Simpsons, like obviously I know the Simpsons.
For sure.
And I've worked at, well, 3 out of my 4 stops have been Fox affiliates.
Wow, nice.
So obviously the Simpsons have already played, but I've never I never watched The Simpsons.
Really?
Like, I mean, I'm not saying I've never seen The Simpsons. I've seen it, but I never, like, watched it on a weekly basis, right? Or however much it's out. But I know it's, like, long-running. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's long-running. They're just rerunning some things.
No.
They're not still writing.
Of course they are.
And they are.
Yeah.
Is it the longest-running show ever? But that was, like, a while ago that
was
passed,
a while ago.
right?
Yeah.
So they are still making new Simpsons episodes.
Yep. They made this one just recently, season finale. Rest in peace, Marge, kind of, sort of.
What's the kind of sorter part? Part.
It's a future look. Basically, as you can see here, knowing what's going on with The Simpsons, you got Bart here on the left as a grown man. You got Lisa over here on the right as a grown woman. Basically, in this future scenario, you got Bart and Lisa who are mad at each other and aren't really speaking. And then, unfortunately, as you see here, sad Homer, his wife Marge passes away. In this scenario, in the funeral, is what brings Bart and Lisa back together.
Do you like, to me, I look at Homer and he doesn't look as old as he should to me.
Yeah, Homer don't age, bro. Homer always is just looking, he's looked like that since the beginning and looks like he'll look that way to the end. That is just classic Homer. 2 pieces of hair, a little comb over action. Might be asleep or might be sad right here. I don't know. But you're right. Everybody else looks older. Flanders, definitely looking a bit older there. Bart and Lisa looking older for sure. I forget the church guy's name.
Yeah, don't ask me now.
Yeah, I forget bro's name. But he's looking older for sure. And, Homer just said, I'm built different. All that Duff beer not making me age. So, kind of, sort of, rest in peace, Marge.
But you know, like, a lot of, like, the references to the Simpsons then.
Like, I'm not... I could probably pick up what you're putting down for sure. But, like, I'm not all the way in it for sure. I don't watch every week. I catch it. If it's on, I'll probably catch it. I like cartoons.
Yeah, like, I don't feel like... I just don't feel like anybody watches every week.
Probably not at this point.
But
it's almost
it still
like,
does well enough to maintain.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers.
Are those all new episodes still?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they're still playing. Do we have Family Guy? Fox doesn't have Family Guy anymore, right?
Maybe.
Is that a little too, like, almost raunchy for, if you will?
No.
For, that pushes the line, doesn't it? Family Guy sometimes and some
I mean, there's been a pushing of said line for sure. Let me see here. But the point I'm trying to make with that is, it still says Fox, so that's Google AI for you.
We do have. I should know.
Yeah, you probably should. But there's obviously reruns all over the place. TBS has some, Adult Swim has some. But with these shows, I think what's great is, like, they do tell a story, and there is obviously a story to follow. But you could watch season 16, episode 4 of The Simpsons and not really need to know what happened in 3 or 2 or, like.
That is the beauty of it.
There are some. That's why they're so successful.
Yeah.
If you jump into Family Guy right now, maybe not you. Actually, yeah, probably you. If Family Guy was on, you're like, okay, I'm going to watch it. You probably have a general idea of Peter Griffin and Lois, Stewie, Brian, Meg, Chris. And you're like, okay, I know enough that I can entertain what's happening here. I don't necessarily know if they referenced something 2 episodes ago. I won't know. But also, it doesn't really matter if I know or not. Because you get the entertainment you're looking for. Simpsons is the exact same way. And that's what's brilliant about it, in my opinion. Like, you don't have to know, but you kind of just know.
But like, Friends had that, right? Shows like that.
Well, Seinfeld and Friends.
Seinfeld, right?
But
you just watch it on an episode basis. And I think that's what I got caught in, right? Like, I was never a religious watcher.
Yeah.
But I could still jump into a show and see it.
There's still a little more of a story there. Like I'm telling you, the animation, man, like, there's really not much you need to know. There's they will do some runs where there is some, like, important stuff, like when Family Guy killed Brian, like, it would have been good to know. Like, if you jump in, you're like, where the hell's Brian? They're like, mourning dead Brian. You're like, whoa!
Yeah.
But he comes back, so it's okay. But I don't know, man. It's brilliant. But yeah, The Simpsons are still cooking. But the internet was up in arms. If you type in The Simpsons right now or Marge Simpson, the Today Show wrote an article about it. USA Today wrote an article about it.
Because of Marge passing.
Yeah, but also, like, if I throw this up on the screen like I did, like, this is kind of jarring. You see this on social media, like, well, they killed Marge. Well, not really. But kind of. You know what I mean?
I was just looking something up because I forget, we had a couple guys from Providence, and I forget which, I think they're the Dumb and Dumber writers and other, would you know names like Farrell Brothers, I think it is? Is that right?
Let's look it up.
Farrell? I think it's Farrell.
You think they wrote Dumb and Dumber?
I don't, we had either movie producers, and then I thought there was somebody that was.
Oh, yeah. Fairly,
yeah.
Peter?
Big guys, right? Like, what'd they do? Like, they did one of the animation ones, like Family Guy or something. It's probably not Family Guy, though.
It's not. That's Seth MacFarlane.
But anyway, they were heavily involved in either. There were a couple of groups of them. One made it big in the movie producer, or a couple made it big in the movie producing, like the Dumb and Dumber kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
And then I thought somebody else did the animation. So, and I just was looking up the writers because I couldn't remember if they were involved with The Simpsons. And so that's why I was just kind of interested when you brought it up. So now I go down. It's funny, the rabbit hole you go down. And do you know how big the list of writers are?
For Simpsons?
For The Simpsons?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you would think something like that is I would just think, hey, it's been a group of people writing it. I'm sure some people may pass. It's been so long, right?
Yeah.
They got 142 writers listed.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien was one.
Conan O'Brien, that's actually a big.
That was back in the day, right? Like,
that's how Conan became like a person. Like,
had no idea,
but that's how he became like irrelevant in show business. Yeah.
This should not surprise anybody if you listen, but like I could never get into the animation stuff. Like Beavis and Butthead was big when I was growing up.
It was.
And it just didn't do it for me.
Really?
But so I guess like the point is, if you did Beavis and Butthead, did you do Simpsons? And then did you get to Family Guy? Like, did you get, whether it was that kind of humor,
it's possible,
or whether it was just the animation part of it that I just never really like grasped onto? I don't know. I don't know what's in what I didn't get attracted to there. I'm not really sure. But I kind of always think about it, like, why am I say this to myself, not a lot, but when this stuff comes up, like, why does everybody like this stuff? And it just doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. Like, I know I'm on the outside looking in here.
Maybe, yeah. It's
but what am I not seeing, I guess, is what I always say.
I think you're just the problem.
Yeah, I might be. I'm admitting to be the problem.
Oh, good. Good, yeah. I'm good.
But this is a little bit like there are people in the world that don't know a damn thing or even want to inquire or look at anything that goes on in sports.
Yeah.
From the NFL to the Olympics to whatever, like, don't ever flip it on.
Yeah.
That is a very small population, I think, but it's bigger than you would think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so when I think of these kind of things, like, wow, I'm like that when it comes to this stuff. Like, never have sat down and watched an episode of The Simpsons.
Maybe you should.
And by the way, I've long said I'm not a critic of much. If I watch a movie, I usually think it's a good movie. If I watch a show, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Now, there are some shows you get, like, I can't wait to see that again, no doubt. But I'm not a critic by any means. So I'm not like a snob from that standpoint. I just don't invest the time to sit down and do it. Like, Star Wars is very much this for me. I know it's like how can you not have watched every Star Wars? I haven't.
That's just ridiculous.
And I have no desire to.
So, like, let me get this straight. So you're going to die and never know what happens in Star Wars? That's how
Very good chance.
That's how you anticipate living your life. You're just going to keep caring about...
I anticipate dying, yes.
You're just going to keep caring about, the football and the baseball and the basketball. You're never going to know what happens in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago?
Probably not. Like, I mean, I've thought about it at times. Like, even in the pandemic, I thought about saying, okay, I'm going to go back. We got a little time here.
Yeah.
Let's go start watching this. But, the funny thing about it, man, is like Steph, it doesn't do anything for Steph either. So it's not like she's pushing me to do it. Or the kids have been like, hey, I want to watch Star Wars.
Well, you ruined them.
Yeah, I didn't pass that down.
I think Ty is under the Ty's probably watching Star Wars right now because he's under the impression if he brought up Star Wars in your house, he'd get like strangled.
I don't think that's the case.
I do.
I don't think Ty has any interest in Star Wars.
I do. I think
I really don't.
He really wants to know what's going on.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I think he'd rather watch whoever's playing golf on YouTube right
See, now that's the problem, right? That part's fine, Ty. You do you. But listen, if Ty would have been a kid when I was a kid, and by kid I mean like, I was probably like 10, right? When I was finally understanding what was going on with the world. And then they had Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And they had Padme in that movie, in the white, like, outfit, let's call it. Man. There's no going back after that.
Yeah, maybe that's what I needed.
That's what Ty needed.
That's what Ty needed.
Natalie Portman as Padme. Oh,
there you go. That's all you need.
Gotta change a person.
Hey, let's go from that to let's go fishing. How about that? Nice transition. Presented by Nithic Buick GMC and Armor Guard Exterior Gutter Helmet. Paul Dozier's not in. He's in the Bahamas.
Paul
after the big old school kingfish shootout.
I was ready.
And he
for my Bass Pro.
Obviously, so we won't have Let's Go Fishing for a little bit because we're going to be away for the next couple of weeks. So we'll bring it back in the middle of July. So if you do get any catches over the next couple of weeks, make sure you send them to sports@actionnewsjacks.com. In the meantime, we do have Captain Roger sent me this morning on what looked like a very calm day on the water.
Captain Roger here with JacksonvilleFishingTrips.com, my guide service, with your inshore fishing report for Northeast Florida for Action Sports. Water temperatures remain between 80 and 83 degrees, and the water clarity is about as good as it gets, especially way up the river. It's really moved as far as Green Cove. The water clarity is just unbelievable. And that bids well to those who love to sight fish redfish. And in the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of sheepshead that moved in. And a little tip for you sight fishing guys is put those lures away and try to get a bonus catch. Just go all fiddler crab with an 1/8 or a 16th ounce split shot and flip. Then you can flip to a redfish, but if you see a sheepshead, you can flip that fiddler crab to a sheepshead and he'll hit it just as fast as a redfish, and you'll have a bonus fish for dinner. Other fish that have picked up in the past week, trout have been building up at night. They've been catching a lot of trout at night, not a lot, but a few. It's been picking up early morning top water. Flounder continue to be slow. There's a lot of tarpon moving in, and there is a lot of jack crevalle that have moved in. So if you're looking just to get hooked up, there's plenty of jack crevalle in the river. And you just look around. Whenever you're around bait and you'll see them jump crazy, that's probably a jack crevalle. Grab you a top water, big swim bait or whatever, a jig, and they'll eat it, and they'll provide a little fun and get you back on a bite, and then you can go hunt the other fish. Well, until next week, this is Captain Roger Bump coming for you from Action Sports with your inshore Northeast Florida fishing report. Until next week, hope this report bids you well.
Well, it certainly did. But how calm is it out there right now? It's like glass out on the water. Well, I don't know about right now, but when he taped that, of course. And I was just thinking this. I need Paul Dozier in to interpret
what happened.
Whatever Captain Roger just said.
That's fair.
Like, was he talking about the fish jumping? I thought he was talking about a whiskey for a minute.
That's crazy work.
Right there. We should actually have to, if you don't know a lot about fishing, which I think we're in that probably bucket, we should have to play that and interpret what everything is. Like, what do you think what do you say, Jack Revell? Is that what it was? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, you did.
Like, what is that?
Not a clue. Couldn't begin to tell.
I need Dozier on line too. Like, you got to interpret this. Now, there are plenty of people I know that probably know what that is. I don't.
Yeah.
That is very Star Wars Simpsons to me.
Listen.
But I don't know what Captain Roger was just talking about half the time. I need a translation.
Yeah, that's fair. You're not wrong there.
We might have to play that one back when we get this thing reunited. We're
going to hold July. That one for...
Well, I felt like he said a lot in that one that I really had no clue what he was talking about.
Yeah, me neither, dog.
You know? I didn't know if this was a new species or a lure.
New species is crazy.
Or what? And let's go fishing.
Not gonna lie, I was also potentially looking for a bump shot here of what we were just talking about. So I was half listening, but I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, that's part of being. That's why we got Captain Roger delivering a tip. Can teach us about some of that stuff. And let's go fishing, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Armor Guard Exterior. Gutter helmet as well. Make sure you visit those folks if you're looking for anything on the exterior. Not just gutters, by the way. Also awnings and windows, and get ready for hurricane season. So a lot with the folks at Armor Guard Exterior and Gutter Helmet. And right on St. John's Bluff Road for all your needs. Take advantage of some of the specials and make sure you look them up. With Armor Guard Exterior and Gutter Helmet. All right, let's take a time out. Noon hour ahead. We've got Austen checking in. We plan to visit with Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp manager David Carpenter along the way as well. So we'll take you until 1 o'clock. So that's when you fell in love.
This will change a person, right? I did the best I could to make it just so no one's uncomfortable with what we're showing here. But this is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. You see old Anakin there with the lightsaber, ready to mess up some droids, which you see in the background. And then you see Padme ready to do what has to be done.
Is that your favorite one?
No, Episode 3 is.
Okay.
Padme's still a key feature in that. But this specific situation, my goodness.
In your wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse. Send this to Ty. I'm telling you, change a person.
We'll change a person. We'll try to change you when we come back for the next hour of the Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jack's 24/7 network, here on a Thursday, heading into a late June summer weekend.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with their inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
It's fast-paced.
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
High fly.
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
Action-packed. Weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks. I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gotta be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This is the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel
right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com. Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet. Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table. Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Nice day, nice hot day here in Jacksonville. Good day to go fishing. See that? See, it does look like glass out there on the St. John's River.
Nice.
That could have been live with Captain Roger.
You could have just said it was.
I could have. I didn't want to lie. Brent Martineau, that's Casey Kurtz, Austen Lane down in South Florida. Here he is. And my goodness, man, it's late June, and we've been all over the place, from hats to water to killer bees this week. We've even gone now to the Simpsons as well, and we're trying to figure out what kind of fish Captain Roger's talking about. So, I mean, bring whatever you want to the table in the final hour of the show. It's almost break time here on the Brent and Austen Show, not like going to break, but like summer break, and it certainly feels like last day of school kind of vibes.
Cool, man. Yeah, so then I guess let me go ahead and contribute to just kind of being the last day of school and everything. This wasn't in the rundown, obviously, but is Paul Skeens pretty much all but, forgotten about now? Because when you have the Miz take the mound and absolutely just embarrass Paul Skeens, when you have the Miz go out there and throw, I think, a solid 8 or 9 Ks, and through 5 or 6 innings, Brent, it's hard being a Brewers fan, man. It's hard getting these guys you haven't really heard of. You put them through the pitching lab, and all of a sudden, they're like the next big thing since Ben Sheets, and now all of a sudden everyone's excited again, and it's exhausting being a Brewers fan because 3, 4, 5 years from now, we're gonna talk about the Miz going to the Yankees or the Red Sox on a big time deal. But right now, while the Brewers got him, man, I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this guy coming up. Was this guy a hot
he was.
Star coming up?
He was.
Was he drafted out of high school, or is he a college? He wasn't a college guy, was he?
I don't think he was
high
college.
school.
I'll check. He
was actually going to go to LSU and play with Skeens.
Okay.
But then I think he opted just to go in the draft. Yeah,
he's right.
So he's been that kind of prospect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been electric now, right? I mean, it's just been unbelievable. It's tough to get a hit off him.
Yeah, he's nasty, man. And the only really the only runs that he's given up was when he kind of came back, and I think it was the 7th to last game when he probably shouldn't have. They had the lead and everything, and he sat for 25 minutes while the Brewers offense was doing their thing, so they threw him back in there, give up a 2-run homer. But besides that, man, the guy's been nothing but brilliant.
What Skeens gives up, I think he gave up 4 in the second inning. Right?
Oh, yeah. Classic Brewers baseball, playing that small ball, Brent, seeing a lot of pitches. You love to see it.
Who was it the other day? Somebody else gave up a couple of runs. It was almost like headline worthy. Nah, because that would have been headline worthy. It was somebody else that was like.
You're right.
Give me some of the top pitchers in the game right now, Casey. I feel like it was out west. I feel it was like a game out west. It wasn't Ohtani. Ohtani's still only pitching like an inning, like per outing, right?
Yeah.
Who was it? Crochet's pitched really well, so it wasn't him. It was just somebody that's pitched really
DeGrom,
well.
He's back. Was it DeGrom?
Yeah,
DeGrom?
Wasn't DeGrom. Gosh, I can't remember who it was. But bottom line, what my point here is, like when Skeens gives up 4 runs, like in an inning, it is so like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like that's a big time headline. Like, hey, is something wrong? You know?
Well, and to be fair, with all the respect to Paul Skeens, he's getting zero help from
it's amazing.
his offense either, man. Like you feel bad for the dude.
Oh, I know who it was, by the way. It was Detroit guy.
Oh, Skubal.
Skubal. He gave up like 2 2-run homers in the first 2 innings. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Brent, and in case you're free to chime in here, because this is right in your wheelhouse as well, pun intended, with baseball. You know, like when you think of Paul Skeens, and I get it, he had a rough out against the Brewers, but still one of the best pitchers. But dude, like if you look at the record and everything, like his ERA is super low. He's getting zero support. It's just like it's the Paul Skeens show, and that's about it in Pittsburgh right now. Like, is there really any other athlete that you feel like isn't reaching his full potential because he's a fantastic player playing on an absolutely crappy team? Like, and I'm saying like, you know, like a Paul Skeens level, because he's arguably the best pitcher in baseball, but he gets zero help.
Well, Trout did this for a long time, it felt like.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Trout had Ohtani though for a while too.
He did.
He did. But for whatever reason, the Angels sucked. You know, like they just were bad.
True. Mm-hmm.
Skeens is pitching like well, hey, by the way, DeGrom did this. And I don't know if the Mets were bad, but DeGrom got no run support. Remember, he had like a 1.3 ERA or something, and he had 7 or 8 wins, I think it was. Like his record was like 500. So, like, it can be done. It's very odd.
He was 10-9 with the 1.7.
Yeah. I mean, he was just ridiculous. And they couldn't score for him. They got like 2 runs a game. A run and a half a game, and they could not win. And I guess the Sears go like that. But I was looking at Skeens and those numbers. I'm like, this guy's really Cy Young worthy kind of numbers, right, to be in the conversation. And he's got no chance to win it because you have to have wins. But everybody knows if you just looked at it and you didn't put stats to it, you'd put him in the Cy Young conversation. But we won't be allowed to because they can't win. Like, so I actually think if I'm his agent and if that you're starting to hurt his case.
Wait, you're not putting Skeens in the Cy Young thing?
He's not going to win. I mean, nobody's going to give him the Cy Young winning 7 wins.
I think you're dead wrong.
I mean, it's not the end all be all stat because we just talked about him. Like Ben Sheets, I forgot. Like when he played for the Brewers, he was kind of in that same ballpark where he had like a 1 point something ERA, but he only had like 8 or maybe like 7 or 8 wins. But like I think he finished 3rd or 4th in the Cy Young voting simply just because of like the ERA and how impressive he was. I think Skeens, when it's all said and done, will probably have the better numbers. Like, I'm not saying Skeens will win the Cy Young, but I think he'll be considered still.
If this dude Paul Skeens, who cares what the record is? That don't matter at all. If he ends right now, he's got a WHIP less than 1. He's got an opponent's batting average less than 200, and his ERA is just over 2. If he has an ERA in the 1s, a WHIP under 1, and hitters are hitting under 200, he could be 0-65. He would win the Cy Young.
What is his win-loss?
4-7.
It's crazy.
He's going to start the All-Star game like the wins don't matter.
Well, to that point in 18, what's his name did win it at 10-9.
DeGrom, yeah, the wins don't matter, dude.
DeGrom, yeah.
Now, if his ERA is like 2.7, like if he gives up runs, like no. But if he's right in this range, like absolutely.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. What's more, I mean, and I get they're all stats, whatever, but like, what's more important? Is the wins and losses more important or is the ERA important? Because like, I think and I can't remember like back at all the Cy Young winners, but I feel like there's some guys who maybe had a little bit of a higher ERA, but they had the record to back it up, so they got the advantage.
Oh, ERA, WHIP, opponent batting average, strikeouts.
You think it's better than
definitely
the wins and losses? Okay.
Because to your point, Austen, like he was picked first overall. In theory, he's going to a team that's terrible. That ain't his fault.
Yeah. And baseball does have a history, like I said, of DeGrom factoring that in. I think there's a couple ways to look at it, Austin. I think that's why you have to look at it, right? You have to know what it looks like. You can't just go by the numbers. I mean, the numbers will say a lot of things and usually are pretty correct. And I guess when we're talking Major League Baseball, you're not going to run into this as much, but the ERA is certainly worthy of looking at, but also you're like, okay, well, I mean, how much traffic did he have on bases and they just were unearned runs, right? Like, I mean, how many runs actually? Well, in the Major League Baseball, you take that in high school or college, the amount of runs you give up versus how much are earned are going to be a lot different than in Major League Baseball. Guys just don't, you make like an error a game, maybe, in Major League Baseball. So I found that I said, how many, what's the fewest amount of wins for a Cy Young Award winner?
Uh-oh, here comes Google AI.
I think this one's right.
John Cena and Batista.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think it is?
What's the fewest amount of wins for a Cy Young winner?
Yeah.
8.
I'm going to say 7.
Price is right.
2. It's kind of a trick question. Eric Gagne.
Ah, you suck.
Oh, okay.
You're the worst kind of human.
Yeah.
DeGrom, by the way, at 10-9 was 4th on this list from a win percentage standpoint. I think this one's under win percentage. Yeah,
2.
Bruce Sutter was 6-6. Felix Hernandez 13-12. Trevor Bauer 5-4.
Really?
How did that happen?
Let's see.
Was he only had 73 innings pitched. Was he closing stuff out?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah, bro was 5-4. Wait.
That was 2020.
COVID
year. COVID year.
I was like, he only pitched 11 games.
That's a great. Hey, by the way, that's a good trick question too.
Yeah,
right?
That's a bad one.
His ERA plus was 2.84, and league average is 100. Trevor Bauer's was 2.84.
Remind me of that one again? What's that?
ERA plus is league ERA divided by ERA, basically.
So how much better you are than everybody else?
Yeah.
Like during a season.
Yeah. So that's a number. I like that number a lot. I think it tells you a lot. Skeens's this year is 198.
So almost double the league average.
So double the league.
Does the league average always hang around 100? Like, is that the barometer?
That's 100 is the number.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
But
to see.
But anyway, so like you think of like football or basketball. Is there any other guy that you kind of feel bad for? Like he's so talented, and you just feel like he's in purgatory because he's got zero help. Yeah.
I would have said McDavid when the Oilers sucked, but now he's had
True.
a chance twice.
Yeah.
Basketball's tough because they just trade whoever that person. If Zion was good, Zion would probably be a good example.
Good point.
But he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like maybe you can make an argument for like Saquon, but that's more injury than anything. And then
I thought Saquon on the Giants, because he was clearly their best player.
Who's the best player on the worst team right now in the NFL?
What about Kyle Pitts? Or are we to the point now where Kyle Pitts, where it's just like he is who he is?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's a different context. He's not playing well on a bad team. He's not playing well.
He's just not being okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I actually think the guy that would fit this a little bit over, and they might have had many players. I go back to Arizona, and you think of like a Larry Fitzgerald, right? He played there for and I know they did win, but overall, I'm just saying overall, there are a lot more years of leanness than there was of good.
Myles Garrett's a good one.
Garrett's good
because like I just feel like he's super underappreciated for how good he is, just simply because of the team that he plays for. That might be the one, Casey.
That's actually, because he's the best defensive player in the league. You could make the case.
Yep.
And Cleveland always has some purgatory to it. Hey, I'll give you the guy that was like this for a long time in his career, Matthew Stafford.
It's going.
True. Yep.
So there are those guys. But you're right. The NBA, man, you get rid of that guy and he goes to somewhere else. Like, I don't think the NBA guy hangs on that place for too long. Major League Baseball, I think you can have more of it, right? You kind of try to build around. And, again, Trout's a perfect example. I mean, Trout and Ohtani, when they were with the Angels, they just weren't even very good somehow. Those guys were putting up crazy numbers, and the rest of the team wasn't. Skeens now fits the bill. And when you get some of these rebuilds, I think you're going to get some of that. Like, was Bryce Harper around for the bad? Nah, he probably wouldn't have been. Like super bad?
The Nationals?
Nationals? How about any of the Braves young guy? Like, did Chipper go through a rebuild like late in his career? You could have had someone like that carry over.
Yeah, but he had already had a whole career.
He had a lot of good.
I think Harper would probably be better, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, hey, any of the Marlins guys before they traded them away?
Every Marlin ever.
What do you guys think about Ellie De La Cruz? Do you think he's kind of being lost in Cincinnati? Brent, I know you're a Cincinnati guy, but like honestly, do you think if like Ellie De La Cruz is on a big market team, are we talking about like, the real deal?
I think so.
Yeah, I get, but they're not like Cincinnati's not bad.
No, but they're Cincinnati.
Yeah, what I never know in the context of that is kind of like a Giannis for Milwaukee, right? Is that a good fit for them? Like, I don't know Ellie De La Cruz. I don't know his personality. I don't know, but maybe that's a very comfortable spot for him to be in rather than be in New York or L.A., where then you're the pressure, right? And we've seen this a little bit with guys going, like we've seen it with Tatis in San Diego when you sign the big deal, or even a Machado who's kind of, just at times been okay, even with the big deal. So some guy, and that's not necessarily like the biggest market either. But I do think some guys are just uncomfortable playing in those places. The Mets, are we looking at that right now with Soto? Like, is that why he got off to a little bit of a slow start? Now, he was okay with the Yankees, but is he just a better fit for like Washington or San Diego in that kind of climate, culture, media market, you name it? But there are I know for a fact, guys, there are legitimately players that just can't handle the New York grind or the Boston grind, or maybe it's the Chicago grind. And I don't know where Ellie De La Cruz fits, but he might be in a really good place. And I think that's what you're going to start to ask about Giannis too, Austen. Like if he goes to another place, I think he'll be able to handle it. But who knows if he'll be able to handle it and be at his best in that kind of arena.
I think with Giannis, and once again, it's Milwaukee, right? So say he goes to Boston or LA like that's going to be a giant difference than playing in Milwaukee. But I just think there's some athletes, Brent, who are just so mentally, just in tuned and know exactly who they are that you feel like it's not going to affect them at all. Like, I think Giannis can play anywhere, and it's just going to be about basketball. Like, he's not going to care about the more media attention. He's not going to care about the endorsement opportunities and all this stuff. Like, all he cares about, I feel like, is basketball. So I think Giannis is one of the very few who it would be okay.
Yeah, I think. By the way, I think you might be right on the money. And then there are other people that embrace it, like that really love it. Like I think of a guy. Yeah. I think of a guy like that. Like with some of those Red Sox guys that just seem to really enjoy being there. From even Kevin Millar, who's not really a star, but seemed to have some of his best times and really played big and embraced that moment. But I just don't think everybody fits that way. I think. I think it can be tough.
Yeah, there's, take the draft last night, for instance. You got Colin Murray Boyles dropping an F-bomb when Toronto drafted him, and he just lets out a bleep. Like, that was pretty wild, I thought. Yeah. Drake wasn't probably happy about that one.
All right, so let's go to that NBA real quick. Couple of things that we hit on. I'd just like to get your do you know what the hell's going on in the NBA draft? Like, do you know why? Like, because I know you pay attention to it a little bit more. What is the why of why it operates the way it does in terms of the trades and is there a reason that we're missing that I probably could easily just Google AI. But then AI might tell me the wrong answer?
It's because of John Cena and Batista. Tag team time.
Dude, Brent, it's a great question, and it's wild how they're trying to capitalize on what the NFL is doing with the NBA draft and try to make it more of a spectacle. And I'm gonna be honest, I got through pick 20 and I couldn't watch it anymore. To me, it was unwatchable. Like, it was just, it wasn't good. And I get it's it's the cool thing to pile on and hate and everything. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to go with the status quo, but if you went on Twitter last night, everybody kind of agreed, it wasn't good. And I think a huge problem about it was the people that were, that were hosting just weren't that informed. The cool thing about the NFL draft is you hear the behind the scenes things, you hear what teams were thinking. You have Mel Kiper, you have all these experts weigh in and tell us what this player is going to be. Last night it was, all right, let's go see the emotion. All right, yep, he has his mom in attendance. Mom, how you feeling? Dad, how you feeling? Brothers, brothers, how you guys feeling? Hey, if you guys can play a game of pickup one-on-one, who's gonna win? All right, you guys pretty emotional. All right, sounds good. Enjoy. Like that's all it was. Like there was no concrete, cool information. It was all just very emotional time.
Yeah, playing on the emotion. I will tell you this though, Austen. Like, I don't know how much research you're supposed to do for an event like that, probably a lot, but I don't know how you're supposed to know some of these guys from overseas and doing that. Like, if you're not playing up like the immediate reaction, and by the way, there was a lot of emotion. Like, some of those guys said there was more emotion in that room than they've ever seen at NBA draft. So people obviously in our business want to play up the emotion side. But
of course,
I also just don't know, like, how are you supposed to know this guy from China, like, a lot about him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know, Brent. Like, I mean, we don't know a lot of like the 3rd or 4th, 5th round picks in the NFL sometimes. Like, we don't know, like, we do shock your mock, but like, we still have Mel Kiper telling us exactly who these guys are, what they're good at, what they're not good at, and like, and I understand it's hard to get every single player from Europe and figure out who they are, but I just feel like if you're going to be doing a draft show, you got to do your homework and you at least got to know like the first couple rounds of who these guys are going to be, because that's why I tuned in to watch. Like and listen, it's great for the families. I understand all that. There's an emotional element to it, but like, I'm trying to figure out why this guy from, went to Toronto was so upset and like, what's his story? And we didn't get it. It's just like, oh, showing a little emotion there. Well, it'll be one to watch. Like, well, tell us like what happened. He didn't want to do the workout in Toronto. Like, there's stories behind it, but.
Yeah, and by the way, you have a good chance to educate. See, Casey and I kind of liked a lot of the in-between stuff. We thought like the capturing some of the emotion, or the people that were excited, or some of that raw emotion from the players. It was a big deal. I mean, the part that's really, and I appreciate what you're saying, just, hey, give us a little bit more context to some of the backstory, or how they fit in a certain place, or why they might not want to be at a place. But the problem with that, the clunkiness of the whole thing is, dude got picked 18th, and by the 21st pick, or by 3 minutes later, he's on a different team. It's like, what the hell, man? I mean, we cannot grasp, if you're going to trade for somebody that was just picked 21st overall, and you had the 18th pick, why didn't you just pick the guy? What are we missing?
Yeah.
What are we missing? This is so bizarre. And that's what Silver, I think, is great, right? I think he's a really good commissioner overall. I think people like him. I mean, they got to fix this. This is not a new thing. We do this every year. This is not a new thing. If you want to do what the NBA is trying to do, is get it as big as the NFL, I actually think they had some of the parts in place. They have some of the ingredients in place. But there's got to be a simplification of what the heck is going on. You get drafted by a team, you're on the damn team.
Yeah, I know.
That's fair.
And it's wild too that once again, trying to make it more like the NFL, right? So now instead of just having one night, like they have the first round. First it's the lottery, and then it's the first round, and then they stop it, and then it's like second round. And I love like how because I turned it back on towards the end, and it's like, you're not going to want to go anywhere for Thursday night because we got the second rounders, and there's who's going to be the next Joker, so now they're trying to bring like every single second round pick that was like legit, and trying to stay like, all right, who's going to be the next guy? You better stay tuned. Like, dude, I ain't watching a second. I'll go on the app, I'll see who it is, I'll see if there's any trades, and we'll go on from there. Like, y'all got to stop trying to make it the NFL. It's just not going to happen.
Can you imagine what we're going to see tonight in that second round? I mean, the way the NBA teams care about second round picks, I mean, we are going to be trading pancakes for some of these players by the middle of the second round tonight.
Pancakes is crazy.
I mean, like, it's unbelievable how much movement there will be. Yeah. They better not give a dude a hat tonight.
Not one.
It should just be blank.
Says basketball player. There you go.
Like,
hey, you're in the NBA? Yeah, just put an NBA hat.
We had a picture. Casey, you still have that?
Sure yet.
You still have that picture of Walter Clayton?
Give me 1 second.
Casey got this picture of Walter Clayton today, and it's got him with the Jazz hat now. And I can't tell if somebody photoshopped it or just said, hey, dude, plop this on your head real quick for the press conference. Like, watch when he gets it. It's, I mean,
Whoa! Oh, my. So I'm not going to lie. This looks exactly like me my freshman year of high school baseball when I played, because I had a giant afro and the hat wouldn't fit on. Oh, dude, I looked exactly like that. And my coaches were so upset with me. But I'm not going to cut my hair, so deal with it, you know?
Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed last night. I said this to Casey. A lot of them have, like, Clayton's got the big head of hair. The Chinese guy, he had, like, I think a pretty decent head of hair. The hat was, like... It was tiny. And he tried to play with the strap. He's like, this ain't going to work. Boom, just put it right on the top of the head.
If you show this picture, this is the greatest day of bro's life.
I got to ask Stuart and Marcel. They'll know better. But to me, this looks Photoshopped. I don't know where you got it. Do you think it's real or Photoshopped?
I think it's real. I got it from
it looks like I Photoshopped it, and I'm not very good at it.
No, I got this from a real place, dude. I'm just not out there willy-nilly on Reddit.
Well, you never. Who knows what's real these days?
Well, now you got me worried.
Well, don't be worried about it.
I'll tell you what's going to be real. It's going to be real tonight, tuning in to watch the NBA draft. Who's going to be the next Kyle Filipowski? You know, who's going to be the next Tyler Kolek? Because those guys are the guys we're talking about in the second round, guys. So just let you know.
I got it from Fox 13 Tampa Bay. Be mad at them. Thanks for the picture, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
They have, I will say this, Austin. They do have a storyline with Oklahoma City winning, right? Didn't we say the other day they have 5 second-round picks that are on that, like, 12-man rotation? So they actually do have a little bit of a storyline there. But it's, again, second-round picks over the years. And Chaz Lanier, again, for us, we'll be watching a little bit, see when Chaz Lanier gets picked. Hopefully he gets selected. But it's also not a lock when you're a second-round pick to make the team, which also makes it, I think, a little goofy. Because if you're a second-round pick in Major League Baseball and you're a second-round pick in the NFL, and I'm assuming if you're a second-round pick in hockey, you probably have a career in the sport. Like, if you're a second-round pick in the NBA, the odds are against you, folks.
No, for sure.
Which is weird.
Definitely tune in to watch, though, regardless. And I'll tell you what I was surprised about last night. I'm not sure how much of the draft you guys watched, but and I don't want to, like, once again, I don't want to, like, rag on these players too much or everything. These are great athletes. Obviously, they put the work in and they're going to get paid accordingly. But I was really a little surprised about the entitlement in terms of, like, I don't want to go to this team. I want to go to that team. You know, like in the classic example was Ace Bailey, who, didn't work out for a lot of teams. The Jazz took a risk because he didn't want to work out with the Jazz. The Jazz take him. He's like, one of the best scorers in this draft. And they obviously they need a makeover. And they interview him after and they go, so what do you think about going to Utah? What can you tell us about, the Utah Jazz? He goes, I know it gets kind of cold and kind of warm there. And, like, that was it. Like, dude did not want to go to Utah. So
no, he did not.
It's wild to me, I guess. Like, dude, you went in the first round of the NBA draft. And obviously, like, you should be thankful because they're that desperate they took you. But it seems like these players nowadays, Brent, like, maybe it's kind of like the NIL effect. Like, they want to go to certain spots. They don't want to go and try to rebuild teams. They want to go where they feel comfortable.
That's an interesting take on something, again, Casey and I talked about earlier in the show. That was kind of the flip-flop of all the emotion. Like, the emotion, we were like, wow, we're surprised that you're getting this choked up about it because, well, you're already getting paid at the collegiate level. I think Austen can't hear, so we might want to get him off the screen. But
what happened to you?
I have no idea. So that's kind of a flip of what Austen just said is kind of interesting. The NIL and everything else that goes into today's athlete. They're like, hey, I want to pick where I want to go, and that's not a new thing. There are players that have done that. We see it in the NFL. I think there are players that do this in Major League Baseball too, because assignability becomes a thing. And so what kind of hardball are you going to play? But we saw it last night in that draft. And I think today's modern era athlete, if you will, gives us a couple of those different looks. Like, hey, how much do they want to be here? How much does money matter to them? How much does the game still matter to them? Where are the emotions going to be? Well, that was really high yesterday at the NBA draft. Meanwhile, it's like, oh, but I've got demands. Because most of those kids, think about it now, when they're going to college, they can ask for stuff. The first question anybody asks now at a high level of collegiate athletics is, how much are you paying me? Mm-hmm. So people don't like to be told what to do, and the draft says, hey, you've got to go to this team. So I guess it's not really that far-fetched to think that player is like, no, don't pick me. I want to go here instead. So we'll see how that shakes out. My guess is if Bailey doesn't want to be there, he won't be there for very long.
He don't want to be there. Confirmed he does not want to play.
Well, what's also wild is you're going to sit there and trade people around and trade 3 different times, but you pick the guy that doesn't want to be there. Seems kind of odd.
It does seem odd, but who's to say, Brent, like if he goes someplace else and he absolutely balls out like they think he's gonna, then you missed out on him because why? You were scared. Like I get what the Jazz are trying to do, right? They're in need of a complete overhaul and they're in need of great players. And they drafted a great player. Now, whether or not that great player wants to play for them or not, like that's gonna be on him. But I get what Utah's trying to do. Like I feel like if you're trying to win the draft, whether it's the NFL, whether it's basketball, like you can't draft afraid. Like you have to draft what's best for your team, and they felt like Ace Bailey is best for their team.
Yeah, all right. Hey, man, I think are you getting out of here?
I mean, it's if you're getting ready to do an interview, yeah, I can get out of here.
Yeah, well, we won't kick you out, but if you want to come back or whatever, it's if not, we'll see you tomorrow on the show.
How long is the interview going for?
A few minutes. We won't keep the manager of the Jumbo Shrimp too long. So okay. We'll either check back in with you or not.
No, that's fine. We can treat this like a Paul Skeens, second inning, and I'll be on standby in the bullpen if you guys need me.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually segues very well. Thank you for doing that.
All right, let's go, Casey. Just stay in touch.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy.
I mean, holy cow.
We just do it live on the show here.
I mean, they got whole commercial breaks for stuff like this, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, we don't want to keep Coach waiting. So I was going to hit a break, but we won't do that. Instead, we'll blow right through that one. And we'll head on over to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp and visit with David Carpenter and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, winners of the first half of the International League. And, hey, appreciate you taking some time and being on with us. What a run that was in June.
Hey, thanks for having me. I tell you what, it was really, really special. This entire group has been something that's basically out of a storybook. You get guys in here that are coming down from the big leagues, coming up from AA for the first time, and they blended together really well and played some really good baseball.
Yeah, did you feel it coming? I mean, you guys got off to a great start. You were 21-6, and then I mean, not that you hit a slide, but you were playing more around 500 baseball, kind of the part of minor league ball, right? You get guys coming and going a little bit, and so the chemistry changes. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, now we're only 4 games out. We got a chance, and you're playing really good baseball on the road, by the way. I think people don't know that part. You're on the road for 2 weeks, which is a pretty long stretch in minor league baseball. And meanwhile, Lehigh Valley's not playing great ball. I mean, did you feel it coming? Did you start feeling a little momentum, even though it's just June?
You kind of felt the guys really kind of put the foot on the gas there. They saw the opportunity. We really kind of got put in a little bit of a tougher spot with some of the guys going up to the big leagues that covered the majority of our innings. So we were putting together some bullpen days. Robbie Marcello is our pitching coach, did a fantastic job with that. The guys really answered the call whenever we would go down and ask guys to throw extended innings. So it was really, really cool to see everybody come together and do their part. The bullpen did their part, offense did their part, defense obviously took care of business. It was just a really, really special time, and to see those guys really fight towards something was really rewarding. Well,
the Jumbo Shrimp make the postseason for the first time since 2017, so that's also very cool. We'll have September baseball, playoff baseball, and David, I've got to be honest with you. It's just weird to know that you're in the playoffs and hosting in late June when you've still got 70-something games to go. Is that an odd thing to wrap your head around?
It is, in the sense of, you look at it from a big league perspective, you're trying to cover 162. Sometimes you're, really fighting for something in mid-September, early to mid-September, to really make sure that you're winning the division, winning the wild card. But now, with the different halves in minor league baseball, especially with how much roster change there is, I'm thankful that they did this, because it gives us an opportunity to really, we fought for something in the first half. You get a chance to refocus in the second half. And I told the guys, I said, the mission stays the same. We get better every day. We, fight our asses off and go out there and just play good baseball.
Yeah, I kind of get it, right? And I think that's why they created this, because the roster starts really moving around in minor league baseball, and so you got a reward for that team that you initially put together. So it is understandable. And I know you don't want to hear this, but is it now more difficult to get everybody focused on winning? Because, quite frankly, you already did the job.
I think the focus stays the same because ultimately, as much as we're trying to win and win at this level, these guys are focused on what they need to do individually to get to the big leagues and be longtime big leaguers. So instead of just, hey, we're going to focus on the winning, we're focused on the player development. That's our number one goal and our number one initiative within the Marlins organization. Get guys better as fast as we can, get them to the big leagues, make them be impactful players, and hopefully be long-term big leaguers.
David Carpenter with us, manager of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. By the way, not a bad start to your managerial career as well. You're a young guy in this profession. And how did you get here so fast?
I was fortunate over the past 2 years. I managed in the MLB Draft League. Sean Campbell was the head of that, was a longtime scout with the Padres and a couple other organizations. Once the cuts started happening with like short season teams and all that, they were trying to find a way to come up with a college summer league in the first half, which turned into an independent league in the second half. So I got involved with that for the past 2 years before making the jump to the Marlins organization. So having prior contacts, talking about player initiatives and all that kind of stuff, it really piqued the Marlins' interest, thankfully, and just kind of fell into it, I guess, for a lack of better words. But thankful for the opportunity that they've given me. Getting a lot of trust from Peter Bedniks, Gabe Kapler, Rachel Valkovec, like a lot of really good people in this organization giving me a chance to do this and try to be as impactful as I can.
What do you think you're good at? What do you think's your strength right now? Guy that's played in the bigs, guy's been through the journey that these guys are trying to go on and been around the game, obviously, for a long time. So you know ball. But what do you think is working and translating in those couple years in that league and now right away here in the with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp?
Being able to relate to where players are in their career, but also having the ability to push them, and have them understand that where they're at is not where they need to be. They need to get better. They need to challenge themselves. We see deficiencies within their game. How do we, bring that low or that floor up to allow them to, again, get to the big leagues, be impactful. We're the Marlins. We're not going to be able to spin with the guys like the Dodgers and the Yankees and stuff like that. So we have to be innovative in our process. We have to be very meticulous in what we're trying to do, while making the correct moves. That works from the top down. That's something we've had instilled in us, and it's something we truly believe, and find a way to compete because, obviously we're not going to go out and sign an Aaron Judge, in free agency or somebody like that. So we have to build that internally. We have the ability to do that. We're going to have, the new revamped scouting department is out there, beating the bushes, going and watching some of these, high school and college kids, who's going to be the next impactful player that we're going to get. We're taking the guys that we have right now and how do we get each of them better on a daily basis? And with the mindset of, hey, what's the end goal here? And making sure they understand that.
Well, it's nice. I mean, it seems like whether it's college or whatever, there seems like a lack of development all across sports just because of we hear about the transfer portal of everything else. It's more of an acquisition and a transaction. It's nice to see and probably develop, especially in the position you're in, that kind of the root of the sport. Watch guys grow. And even at this level like that, I mean, you're not a finished product, right? As you know.
Right. You draft tools. That's something that's gone on since, the beginning of the draft. You find tools, you find guys that have abilities, that have a mindset of getting better, that really challenge themselves, that are gamers. And then you try to develop them with the fundamentals. You develop them by, putting them in challenging and tough situations to see if they can handle that failure. Because obviously this is a sport that, you have to deal with a lot of failure. If you deal with that and you have an opportunity to advance yourself every single day, like you got a chance to make it. If you're struggling to deal with those failures, it's going to be a little bit tougher to get through that.
Give us some of the personality of your team. I mean, you got guys from all over the place, right? I mean, is this a fun team? I mean, you got a lot of personalities. Is it just like we go about our business? How would you characterize what you have right now, this current roster of the Shrimp?
We're a really young team. Especially for AAA. This is a conversation I've had with a number of guys on the coaching staff, a number of different staffs, throughout the league, is amazed how young we are. But you look at the guys that there's a youthful, just excitement of coming to the ballpark every day, which is really cool. We have just enough older guys like a Troy Johnson, who's been here for a number of years, who's, kind of blossomed as more of a leader. Brian Navarrete. We have good a good core group of older guys. And I say older, they're barely 30, but we have a good group of younger guys that are coming up. They're really pushing these guys. So it's a good balance. You see a lot of these clubhouses that if they go too much to the youth side, it kind of gets a little chaotic because they don't have somebody to really direct the ship. And then you have the other side where you might have, a lot of veterans who are just there for their own individual, performance. But we have a really good blend of both. So it's really, really cool to see those guys come in, push each other, direct each other, hold each other accountable. And it's a lot of fun to be a part of that and be kind of the rudder for that ship.
Brent Martineau here on the Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network with David Carpenter, the manager of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. First half champs, second half is underway. Lost yesterday day game, won on a walk-off the night before. Play tonight at 7 o'clock at the baseball ground. So get on out, watch a very good baseball team right now. And part of the fun of that is you've got the ultimate carrot. Hey, play here, get to the big leagues. 13 different Jumbo Shrimp have done that this year. That's got to be a nice carrot and get people's attention, right? Because that's the ultimate goal for these guys.
100%. And especially seeing that that's a attainable goal for a lot of guys here. You look at them, it's like, hey, if you're able to put together, a handful of good weeks, a good month and a half, and show that you're progressing the correct way, like, we're going to get you an opportunity. Like, we're not this powerhouse veteran team at the top. Like, we've got to find ways to score runs, prevent runs. And if you can do that at this level, obviously you're going to give you a chance at the big league level as well.
What's that like for you? We see the videos, right? We've seen it, like, to be able to go tell a guy, you've had this in your career on the other end. So I'm trying to get in your mind and think, one, it's got to be really cool. How do you go about doing it on a different this week versus next week to somebody else? I mean, is this a thought process on the way into the ballpark in your car? How much thought do you put into it? Is it spontaneous? Like, what is that whole situation like, telling a guy you're going to the bigs?
There's a lot of time it's more organic because we'll get a phone call in the middle of the game, or we'll get a phone call right after the game ends. So it's not really this long thought out process. But I try to make it personal for each guy. Augustine Ramirez has a little daughter that he's talked about. Very, very proud of her, very, very proud of his family. I know it's something he's really worked towards his entire career since we've got him from the Yankees. So I remember we're sitting in my office in Memphis, and we're just kind of talking about how he did for the day, some of the work he had done pregame. And I remember asking him, I was like, hey, can you get your little girl on the phone on FaceTime? I said, I haven't got to see her yet. You've talked about her, but I haven't got to see her. So he gets her on there and he's talking to her. And I said, hey, I want you to do me a favor, though. He just kind of looked at me and said, you need to tell your little girl that her dad's going to be a big leaguer tomorrow. And the whole family just erupted. And it's one of those things that when you can make it personal, you can make it authentic for each guy. It's something that's going to last with them for a lifetime. It has an impact on their family immediately. And you see the joy because of all this hard work and the dreams that these guys have had since they were little kids. And I got to enjoy that as well. You see that come to fruition, and it's amazing that you just get to be a part of it. Even though it's not happening to you, you're seeing it happen to some guy, and it changes his life. It changes his family's life. It's powerful, dude.
Yeah, you just told me the story. I got chills thinking about it, man, and I don't even know him. So I think you're right. I think that's a pretty neat thing. Do you? How vividly do you remember that moment for you as a player?
It's funny you mention that because mine wasn't that, wild and even thought out. I remember we had come from a road trip. We were going from Round Rock to Memphis to play an away game. And I remember getting into Memphis at like 6 a.m. This is back in the old PCL days because I never really got to play in the IL that much. So we had that road trip in, literally got to the hotel, got in the shower, was getting out, and the guy I was rooming with at the time goes, hey, manager just called. I think you need to call him back. Okay, so I call him, say, hey, what's up, Tony? He goes, I just want to let you know, congrats, you're going to the big leagues. Click. I was like, oh, all right, cool, thanks. Like, I'm excited. I'm trying to call my dad. I'm trying to call my mom, trying to call my girlfriend at the time, and didn't even think about, like, the magnitude of the situation because it was just like, hey, congrats, go get them, click. And I was like, all right, I guess we got to figure this out now.
That's awesome. It's kind of the other end of the spectrum, right? Just kind of matter of fact and go. 6 different big league ball clubs for David Carpenter. Now the manager of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Let me leave you with this. You got the home games, home stand this weekend, 7 o'clock tonight, Thirsty Thursday. That should be a good crowd. It's pretty fun playing in this ballpark and this in front of these fans. It's a pretty good minor league town if you're going to have a stop in one, isn't it?
Not a pretty good minor league town. It's one of the best minor league towns I've been in. I will say that the job that the front office does here is amazing. The fan support has been phenomenal. It's a blast to come out every single day and see those stands packed. The fans get involved in stuff, whether it's, autograph signings, if it's on-field events, but just showing up and showing the love to these guys, and they really thrive off of it. So I want to thank the community for the support they've given so far, and looking forward to the second half, and especially going to that playoff series too.
Well, I know the wins matter to you, and you want to win every time you go out there. I think the fans are there for a good time, but I think they appreciate the winning right now and can rally around it. It's fun to go watch a good ball club play baseball and end up on the right side of the scoreboard. So good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us, man.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
All right, that's David Carpenter, the manager of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Really done a nice job. 39 years old and just got into this coaching stuff a few years back after a career that ended right around the pandemic. Maybe we hope another 39-year-old guy across the street can have some similar success in the early going.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice.
Nice job, Brent.
What's that?
With the interview. Just giving you credit. Nice job.
Well, thank you.
I had like 15 questions ready to go, but hey, you're not going to get me with that selfish ambition stuff. So I just sat back and I let Brent.
Why didn't you pop in?
No.
What do you want to ask him?
I said, you want me to jump in here? You just ignored me. I said, screw Brent. Forget him. I'm going to let him flounder around.
We'll get him on again, I guess.
Nope. Forget you, Brent.
What did you not hear? What did I miss?
Everything.
Like what?
You're not taking my questions for next time. I'm not helping at all. They don't call me a team player.
What are we doing here? Is Austen coming back on, or is he done?
We're going to break.
Okay, let's do that.
We haven't broken 49 minutes.
Yeah, we back-to-backers here. Let's do that. We'll take a break and put a bow on the show. Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network, Fleet and Footy coming up at 2 o'clock today. And that is David Carpenter doing a nice job with those Jumbo Shrimp. Get out and watch them tonight, 7 o'clock, all weekend as well. And we're going to see some playoff baseball in September here in Jacksonville for the first time since 2017. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
It looked so nice, the last shot you had downtown.
Yeah, bro, it's this thing called weather. It changes.
Oh.
It's raining outside.
Doesn't look that cloudy. It's raining?
It was rain. Yeah. It was raining, like in this shot. We saw rain.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's not raining in the distance.
Their tone on that thing or something looks like.
I know it. You can actually, I think it is raining, like on the camera shot.
Yeah, I know I didn't make it up.
Doesn't look like it should be raining.
I can't wait
It's
for
blue
this
sky
weekend.
over there.
Holy cow. I'm frustrated.
This guy puts himself into a tizzy, Austen Lane.
It's dealing with you.
I mean, dude, figured out how to put, the whole filters on the weather thing. That's pretty cool. That looks great. Like it's Instagram or something. It's like you, Casey. I see you playing with the buttons.
Good work. Good work.
You know me.
Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for hanging around. You're back.
And we got to go to break. Sorry, Austin.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes.
That's all good, man. Yeah. Oh, well, I have 3 minutes? That's fine, man.
You got plenty of time. I was thinking, you know how they do the, what is it, the $1 million or $1 billion NCAA tournament bracket? If you get it all right. Don't they do something big, like if you predict everything?
I don't think it's ever happened, but yeah.
No, it's never happened, but they do the contest.
Yeah, for sure.
We were talking about the NBA draft, and I actually thought this yesterday. If you could pick, like if you could go back and see or remember who got picked where, what team they're going to, and spell their names, you should get $1 million. Some of those names.
It's not a bad call, Brent. Not a bad call.
Some of the by the vowel names are unbelievable on the NBA draft tonight. We'll watch.
Just wait till the second round tonight, Brent. Even be some bigger names.
Yeah, there'll be some good names. Chaz Lanier is the name. We hope we'll be good. What's next? Hey, I'm not going to talk about college football until tomorrow, but you can help lead me into this. Is Wisconsin going to be any good in 2025?
In college football with the dairy raid offense?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Not high.
I'm not going to lie, Brent. Like, I don't have high expectations, to be honest.
So not high on. Well, that can be the case around here too. We'll talk a little Florida State tomorrow.
That's going to make people want to watch the show tomorrow. Check out the Wisconsin football breakdown on Friday on Brent and
No,
Austin.
that's actually the
I don't know what's
Wisconsin.
going to be more disappointing: the Badgers' offense or Casey Kurtz not getting able to ask a question to the baseball coach.
Right? I mean, I didn't get one.
Yeah.
It was must see streaming TV. I just hung around just for that. I'm like, is he going to ask a question? Nope.
I mean, unbelievable.
I love how you guys and your lack of communication skills showcases after the fact.
I texted
Here's
you
what
before.
we get. Do you want me in this or no? Austin is going to go. As I'm tossing to an interview.
Perfect communication?
As I'm talking.
No! You're capping, bro. I said that before.
What does that even mean? How about I have questions for Coach Carpenter? I'll jump in if you want me to.
That's what I said.
No, you said, do you want me in this or no? What the hell does that mean?
Austin, how do you interpret what I texted him?
Oh, by the way, Austin, you want to know why I asked if you were going to go? Hey, Austin, you want to know why I've asked if you wanted to go? He said, Austin is going to go.
How could I be
what
any
the
more
hell
clear?
Does that mean?
What else could I have said?
Well, to be fair, in terms of communication, Casey told me, so when I was coming on the show, Casey even said, like, hey, we have this baseball coach coming on. You don't have to stay for it. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to stay because I didn't do any homework for it.
Okay.
So Casey communicated with me that it'd be okay if I left. But now that probably didn't get around to you, Brent.
Oh, that's another side of communication. The guy that's hosting the show might need to know.
Oh, man. Oh.
No!
Getting at the dinner table and the parents are fighting. I don't like it.
Oh, I love Casey's reaction. No, the guy hosting the show doesn't need to know.
That's garbage because
but I'm going to complain about it.
No, you didn't need to know. What am I doing
at the
right
dinner
here?
Table, the parents are fighting, and I'm being weaponized right now.
Yes, you are. Austin, who's the one guy complaining about it?
I know.
I didn't even complain about it.
Me? What am I doing?
What are you doing? You've created a mess.
What am I doing today?
You just created the last final couple minutes of the show.
I'm producing the show today is what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm doing what you didn't do yesterday, you no good bum. I'm communicating to the people. I'm communicating to Austin. Yesterday, who didn't communicate, Brent? Because I got Stewart doing something while Liv's doing something while Austin's doing something. No communication from you. I'm handling it today. I got it undercover.
Well, you should do a better job.
You should do a better job.
Hey, Austin, how did Scrap House go yesterday?
This is the villain arc. What's up?
How did Scrap House go?
Damn good.
It was good. Set aside from the video being glitchy every once in a while, and I keep we've been over this. Something happens when I log in where it bumps me to another person's Ninja because it says high definition camera 1, 2, and I'm like, I don't have high definition cameras. I have an iPhone, so I don't know why it changes, but it is what it is, man.
We'll have to show Sesnick. He made an appearance on the show yesterday, too.
All right, we're out of time. I think we ran over. See you guys.
Nice.
Yeah. Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow. One more show to get through tomorrow, Austin. One more time. And then a couple-week break.
See what I can do. Oh, and by the way, let's just do it live on the show. I'll be here the last hour and a half of the show tomorrow.
Ah, very good.
Little schedule change, okay?
All right, we'll
That's
be ready
communication,
for you.
baby. I like to say
That is communication. Nice work. Everybody heard it. 2:00 Fleet and Footy coming up. I guess it's raining out in Jacksonville.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a crazy filter.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet.
Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table.
Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.